Hello and welcome to DCP Live, episode number 225. The 2 1/4 episode.
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah.
I think this is officially my longest relationship.
Nice. I'm honored. How's it going, guys?
Good.
New season, new me, man.
New season, that's right.
New season,
Reborn.
new chosen.
Yeah,
I got a headache, but I'm drinking beer, so it should go away soon.
you're nursing it.
He had to be in the pre-show.
Man, season of the Chosen. It's officially happened. New stuff. What do you guys think? Should we jump right into it?
Yeah, I think that's
Let's
probably the
jump
way
right
to go.
into it.
Yeah.
Sure.
I'm really happy at the moment. It's like I keep telling people that the season is off to a really, really strong start. There's a lot of guns I want to chase. There's a lot of roles I want to chase. I'm enjoying the seasonal activity. So I can say that right now I'm having a lot of fun and I think it's really good. I can't say how long it will hold my attention this intensely, but for now I'm having a good time. I want to play. It's good.
Nice. Fran, Paul, yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say for me, it's always you get people coming in the chat and what do you guys think of the new season? And I'm like, well, we're like 2 or 3 days into it. And have you seen the calendar?
Give me the
We are
analysis.
we're literally at a point where we're asking where content may be still, where's the other strike, where.
Yeah.
So it's early, but obviously without that obvious caveat out of the way, I like the Battlegrounds activity. Like for me, it was getting the H.E.L.M, and I'm sure we'll get into heavy details for those who are not playing yet. But yeah, like it feels like a fresh coat of paint in some ways, but it also wears off pretty fast too. Like there's the Battlegrounds activity, the quest, and I finished that, and there's a lot of weapons and stuff to chase, and I want to talk a lot more about that too. But I feel like after even just getting into Battlegrounds and doing the quest, I'm like, I don't know, I might wait until next week, to kind of keep grinding, but that's just me. I know everybody plays differently.
Yeah, I'm really digging it so far. Someone mentioned to me that they thought it felt kind of like a health update where some of the changes they made are not necessarily like, oh, it's this elaborate new story mission, but it's things like the seasonal challenges, which really streamlined the whole system, even if it's not terribly exciting. I think it's still a good system. Making Umbrals permanent, I think that's a pretty solid addition that's going to be here for at least a year. And you can't really focus them too much yet, but it's another quality addition. And I think what we can really experience now is we have 2 of the Battlegrounds, and they're kind of similar, but obviously it's better than Wrathborn hunts. I mean, it is miles better than Wrathborn
They're like
hunts.
mini strikes.
Yeah, I feel like, okay, yeah, it's going to get repetitive over time. It's just, what I'm finding about them is like, it's so much combat. It's still just fun. Like when you get to the end of a Battleground and it's like the final third of a boss's health, and they drop like 50 phalanxes onto the map. Like it doesn't even matter like how overpowered you are. Like it just gets crazy. And like I'm wondering if this is maybe even like a next gen thing where now with the engine reworks they can throw in even more enemies than ever. So that's been one aspect I've really liked about it. And there's 2 more, so that'll be like a little mini separate strike playlist. So I'm curious to see how that kind of evolves from here.
Yeah. Did you notice that I was trying to remember if we ever saw this before, but I went in, to do my weekly strike playlist stuff. And of course, things that work in strikes. And I'm looking and I was like, everything's a strike, but this is called an arena. And I was like, I don't remember if we've ever seen a label like the arena before. So who knows? Maybe we'll see more things that are the arena. Like Prison of Elders kind of was a little bit that, but
it's also interesting that
we've ever seen that.
It's interesting that that's in the Vanguard playlist as well. Like being right next
that's
to
what I was saying.
being featured right next to the strikes and all that. Like I was actually pretty surprised to see that.
Yeah, I was glad though, because I feel like it is intuitive, even though it's not a strike, which that's why I was looking closely. It took me a second because of all the rules of when you complete a challenge or a bounty or a progress on something. But I felt like it's intuitive because it's like, oh yeah, all these things pretty much do go together as jumping in together with other players,
Especially it's going to be here for more than the season. It's going to be here through at least the Witch Queen. So might as well add it permanently to one of the nodes there. Although the more nodes that gets, now we have Gambit. That's just one node by itself in the screen.
It's all lonely.
That's all it needs, man. That's all it
yeah.
needs. All you need is one when it's so good.
All right.
Gambit perfected, baby.
Did you guys have any problems installing it? I actually had a problem where I downloaded the update for the new season and couldn't start Destiny at all. I had to I
I've
thought I was
seen
gonna
a
have
lot
to
of people-
reinstall Destiny all over again, but the fourth time I tried to start Destiny, it finally booted up, and then every day I've had it. Like every time I boot it up, I have to download another update. So I'm not sure if I've got a bad update and I just need to delete Destiny.
Verify
No,
those
it's not you.
files.
They're working on it.
Okay.
That is a known issue. I was having an issue. I could start it, but every time it went to like, I'd say 1 out of every 2 times it went to matchmake something like a strike, the game would crash. And that was a known issue. I think they patched that,
Okay.
but the startup thing,
Good.
I know they're working on. But yeah, this launched with some bugs,
Yeah.
like an entire
Yeah.
missing strike and things like that. And
Is it? Yeah, we might as well pull that one. I'm a little behind on this. We've been talking about it. Fallen Saber. It's on the calendar, and I didn't see it in the TWAB. So wait, what is the official? Did they officially say that it's supposed to be out?
yes, they
Okay, I
disabled
didn't
it
catch that.
because there was some sort of progression bug within it, which is fine. It's just a little weird to not tell us that for 2 days until
Yeah.
after
Isn't
it
that
launched.
crazy, or was that not in the TWAB?
It wasn't. DMG tweeted about it after, but
Okay.
it wasn't mentioned in the TWAB at all. Like Bungie
Seems important.
tweeted about it too. I think it does. What was in the
'Cause
TWAB was the other thing people were asking about. Sorry, I'm skipping to the TWAB, but was that people were asking where the Cosmodrome was, like where the rest of it was. 'Cause
Yeah.
they thought they were going
Right.
to add it in, and they're just like, nope, we're not going to
Yeah.
do that. We're going to do year
Psych!
4 content. Yeah.
Dude.
Yeah, definitely weird that Saber was busted. I was looking forward to jumping in and like playing that strike.
Yeah.
Also,
So
what was it, Fran?
I was just gonna say, so we don't know when it's coming out yet. It could be
I've
days or
heard
weeks.
I've heard it soon.
Okay.
I don't know exactly. I don't think it's going to be weeks. I think it'll be pretty soon.
They gotta fix it, right?
That'd be nice.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know when exactly, but I would hope it's not like a month.
Yeah.
I'm
Awesome.
sure it'll be fixed quickly.
I thought it was fantastic playing the Sepix Prime Devil's Lair strike again.
It's just a good
Yeah?
strike,
Such a
man.
good
There's
strike.
a
It's
lot
very
of
good.
people that are did not play D1 and they're like, this is my favorite
Yeah.
strike. This is great.
Yeah. My
Yeah.
friend said
So-
that too.
I know that it's an old strike and maybe we don't get super excited about old stuff coming forward, but this is genuinely a really well-made strike. So I'm totally fine with having like a well-made, fun strike
You
in
not
the
feeling
game.
it, Fran?
It's really. What's that?
You not feeling it?
No, I am. I have flashbacks, PTSD to trying to do it when I was extremely underleveled before I ever understood what Destiny was. I think
Sitting
mini
in the
Destiny
door.
players-
It was in the alpha. I think.
Right?
Yes,
It was
Yeah.
like in the alpha, and I thought the spider tank was the final boss.
yes, we all
Yeah.
It
did.
took me
right?
45
We all
minutes to
did.
beat it, and I'm like, oh my god,
And-
there's another boss.
And if you're like me, you were doing it at like 2 a.m. before work the next day, and you're like, oh, we got this. And then you get to Sepix and you're way under level. I swear I was in that for hours hiding. Yeah, hiding in,
Hide in that little room.
the little steel hut off to the side,
Yeah.
avoiding splash damage. And you'd go out and pop like 3 bullets. So
That was the
putting-
Destiny 1 Nightfall experience, right? It's like
That's
hiding
what I
in
was
the
saying,
corner
I thought,
yeah.
I thought that
I
was
was like,
a
that's
raid
what we-
when it first launched. I'm like, oh, this is a raid. I get it now. Okay, cool.
I was like, that's what we all did in every
But it was
Nightfall.
awesome.
It brought
Yeah.
back all the memories of like, yeah, we used to sit right here. And then I was like, oh, there's
Yes.
that other Nightfall where we used to sit back there.
sitting
And
up
then
in
there
the
was
corner. Yeah,
the
it's true.
icebreaker, and yeah.
Yeah, I remember the Archon
But,
Priest. You get up on the ledge and like
Yes,
Shoot
behind
down
that
and
little
shoot
rock.
down at 'em,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
and like run away real quick because you're about to get hit.
a Minotaur spawn. You got to always call out Minotaur spawning
Yeah.
behind you because they'll come smack you.
Classic,
That's right.
classic D1.
That's one thing I don't miss about Destiny 1, actually. I mean, it was kind of entertaining at the time, but it became almost every strike that you were in Destiny 1 in the Nightfall where you'd find the place to hide that you
Yeah.
could snipe the boss from with Icebreaker.
Every week.
And they did a good job of fixing that, like over the years. Like
Yeah.
by the end of Destiny
No more
1,
icebreaker.
they had pretty much
Yeah.
fixed it. But also, like in Destiny 2, there's far less places that you can just like kind of hide out. You're
true.
forced to interact with the enemies and like engage more at a fair level, I'd say. I think the bosses are also
Have
better
you,
than they were in Destiny 1.
Have you played Scarlet Keep? Well, corner you can hide in.
I haven't
Behind a
played
pile
that,
of
no.
dust.
Destiny 2, notoriously absent of cheese.
Some spots, right? But yeah. Anyway, it's nice to go back to the strike. I do like it. And it's funny that I wasn't even like thinking about it as I hopped in the beginning. And of course, as soon as you hop on your Sparrow, you're like, oh, wait a second, I know what we're doing
Well,
here.
yeah,
But I
yeah.
kind of forgot how long it was actually.
Oh yeah,
I think a lot of
Did you
D1
guys have
D1 strikes
dialogue?
were like that. No. I think that's like all gone except for a couple lines, right?
Some people told me that they had dialogue. I run it like 9 times. I have not had a line of dialogue in that entire strike.
I've had dialogue.
There's a
I've
couple
definitely
lines
had
in there, but
dialogue.
they've scooped out the majority of it, which, as much as I love the strike, it is definitely weird not hearing like the discussion about Sepix Prime and the House of Devils or whatever.
I have 0 lines every time. It's something's going on.
There must be a bug because I don't hear much, but I mean I'm
there's
always
partial
talking and
lines?
streaming when I'm
Yeah,
playing,
there's
so
just
I'm
a little
probably not
bit.
the best factual reporter on that. But I remember hearing for sure at the end when they're talking about the House of Devils and stuff. So you do get some. Yeah.
I mean, I guess I'm special. But I think there's some weird stuff going on. Like my Clovis Bray Exo challenge this week, Clovis didn't say anything just the whole time. So
Which is
I think
definitely
I'm
unusual for
running into
Clovis.
some audio bugs. And this is on PlayStation too. So I don't know what.
Well, I mean,
what the
that
deal is
happened
there.
with the Crow mission a few weeks ago, so I'm not
Yeah,
surprised if
that never
like,
got patched in. I don't think that ever got dialogue.
yeah,
But
I wouldn't be surprised if that's like some sort of weird bug that's like kind of low priority because it's an audio.
it wasn't in the TWAB.
You know, yeah.
Speaking of Crow, he's been singing Savathun's song at the new
He
location, the
has.
Helm.
It's catchy.
Little sketchy, I'd say. I
Little
mean,
sketchy.
I trust Crow completely. Trust me. Nobody's a bigger proponent of Crow than me. But why is he singing Savathun's song?
Wait, what? He has like an idle like behavior. I haven't
Yeah.
seen.
Yeah,
He
yeah.
He
He'll
whistles.
whistle it.
Is it hum
Whistles,
or
yeah.
whistle?
I think he's whistling it.
He's whistling Savathun's song.
Maybe
Yeah.
it wasn't the Traveler who resurrected him. What if it was the darkness that resurrected
What
him?
if it was the darkness?
Maybe we shouldn't. I
Can
don't
the
know.
darkness do
I
that
trust
yet?
him
Do we know?
completely, but maybe we shouldn't trust him.
It could also be in the back of
This
his
is just their
mind. that we-
anti-crow propaganda.
I mean, Shaq's literally like put words to it and made an entire song about it, and he's still okay. So I don't know. I feel like whistling's okay. The first time I heard it though, I was in my menu, like just in the area, and then I just heard it being whistled. I'm like, what the what's going on? And then I found out later it was Crow. But
Would he have known as Aldrin? Would he have known that song? Like I don't know enough about
maybe.
Aldrin,
I mean,
I
Sarah
think
did
so.
all over
but I'll go.
Gaming
My
City and
theory
stuff.
would be that if he knew anything about it before, like I think it's possible that some of his memories are still buried, even though he's not the same person. Maybe, maybe that's the kind of misdirection, right? That it's in the back of his mind, but it's not who he is anymore. So I'm gonna believe. I'm a believer. I'm a Crow believer still.
Yeah. What do you
Hope
think
he
of the
doesn't
mask?
stab
Cool.
his
He's too
back
wholesome-
down
he's too
there
wholesome to corrupt.
underneath the helm.
Yeah. What do you think of the
It's
mask
shady down
thing and all that? They,
Very Phantom of the Opera.
I think it's
So
something that a narc would wear.
It's very Stanley.
He's wearing a
very
mask.
Stanley Kubrick. I
It
keep
makes me
trying to
wish
give him
we
a.
could have masks, like instead of just pure helmets. But
yeah.
I kept going
a
up to him
magical
and saying
mask.
Fidelio at the door, and it won't open. So if you know what I'm
Is that a
referencing,
Phantom of the
it's-
Opera reference?
Yeah, it's a Stanley Kubrick Eyes Wide Shut reference.
When they mentioned the
Kubrick
mask,
deep cut.
Yeah.
when they mentioned the mask, I was kind of like, Guardians kind of already have a solution for this with these helmets they're wearing all over the place. Do
Yeah.
we really need to draw attention to ourselves with this mask?
Yeah, but that's a good point. But
the only
But
one
in-
wearing a mask.
Yeah.
they generally don't wear their helmets, other than I guess Shax does. Is that
Shax.
right?
He keeps it on, man.
No,
Paladin
it's
decided to take it off. He was like, "No, done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No helmet for me."
Hey, it's been really cool hearing the dialogue interactions after the battlegrounds between
Yeah.
Saladin and
They're
like
really
yeah.
long too.
They are, yeah.
Yeah.
And a lot of politics between the Vanguard and like
Politics.
the Iron Lords and all that. It's cool. It's cool to see that. I
It's
like
very
seeing
cool.
that.
Star
Yeah.
Wars Episode 1 all over again.
That's one thing in general I think this season has done very well. Because think back to the classic seasons that everyone liked, like Season of the Forge. Season of the Forge was like Ada talking the whole time. That was the whole season. Now we have 5-6 people doing voice work for a season. That's
Yeah.
impressive. They never do that.
That's a lot
So
more, yeah.
I think that's great. And like bringing in like Saladin, and I know Amanda Holliday's like not doing anything, but it's still fun to
Yeah,
like,
it's-
oh yeah, she's a part of the universe. Like
Yeah.
that's cool.
Yeah, and she's talking.
It's a
Yeah.
great way to liven it up. And yeah, like when she came on, I was like, wait, that's Amanda? What? I just I wasn't paying full attention, and then to hear it, I thought it was really cool.
Yeah.
And then, having that variety to your point is really needed actually, because I feel like going in, you would almost assume that all you're going to hear is a lot of Zavala and, maybe a lot of Osiris, but it's more than that for sure.
Yeah, this is kind of the first time that they've really expanded the Vanguard operations in the game in a while. So it's cool
Yeah.
to see that a lot of people are getting in on the comms and being like, all right, I'm helping with this mission because we got to do this, whatever, in the battleground. Like, I like that.
Yeah, I can't be the only person who saw that the team really seems to like Avengers is my guess on this one. The helm and everything, which is great. I think the inspiration, but it just feel the war table, like I can't be the only one that, and the hammer, yes, all the above, which is awesome. I actually think if that was an intentional nod, maybe, and kind of having fun with it is cool.
That, but you're definitely right.
It seems like it's a nod.
Yeah.
I don't think there'd be anything wrong with it if they're like, yeah, we really like Avengers, so we kind of did a little twist on that.
Yeah, nothing wrong with it all. What do you actually?
Yeah,
the helm has been cool too. Right?
Yeah, I was gonna
Because,
say, what do you think about that?
They'd pop up. They'd have like a little pop up of them, and they'll again be voice work, which kind of goes with what Paul was saying of where there's just so much voice work this season.
I'm curious why
Really
we're in
cool.
first person mode when we're in the helm. Like, I wonder if there's going to be like, why aren't we in third person like we are normally at the tower? Or like,
You just blew my mind.
I wonder if that's gonna like
Totally
come into
didn't
place.
even, like, think about it.
My super's charging at the helm.
Helm invasion. Yeah.
We're gonna
It's a very
fight.
small battleground. It's like
Right.
30 feet long.
Well,
or
you
something.
can't fight
final
in there. You
battleground.
can't pull out a weapon. It's like when you're talking to
Unless you get double crossed by the crow, in which case
Ah,
It's gonna be a duel in the helm.
it's gonna be a 1v1 Dark Souls
Yeah.
style boss fight with Crow.
oh man, I am on board for that.
That's interesting. It's funny because the
I heard a
easiest.
theory. I heard a theory that we're actually on the bridge of a ship that's like gonna take off eventually and go somewhere. I don't know if there's anything to prove that yet.
Yeah, I was
but-
like,
Do
is
we
there
know what
anything other
the
than
helm
fantasy?
stands for? Because the helm is
Yeah.
H.E.L.M. What's
oh,
it
do
stand
we?
for?
What is it?
it says it in the game.
You hover. I went emergency something. Hold on. I'll look it up while we chat.
It
about
was
but-
something that isn't important. They just wanted to suppell helm.
Yeah.
Somebody in chat will
Yeah,
know.
good
off the top of
point.
their head.
Ballistic
Something
emergency
emergency.
landing mechanism.
We'll get it. It's funny because I looked it up specifically because I was like, oh yeah, same thing. It's just like Avengers, so it means something, right?
Yeah.
But I'll look it up.
But so like
But
I think the environment of the helm is really cool, and I like how they're doing the missions and all that, and I like the usefulness of it. I think it's annoying that you get kicked to orbit every time you want to go back to the tower, and you have to like if I want to turn in an engram, you know, like they should have put just some digital cryptarch in there.
You really should upgrade to an SSD. It's time to get off that spinning disk drive, man. You're gonna really find that it's much faster loading.
You still have to go to orbit and then go back down to I'm just saying that like I was actually expecting it to actually be in the tower, but it's clearly not in the tower.
I wonder
No,
why they
it's
did
not,
it that
yeah.
way.
Yeah.
So it could be
That's
first
another
person
thing, right?
for some reason.
That's
I
what
don't
I'm
know.
wondering.
Yeah.
Well, also they're going to add stuff to it over time. So I'm wondering if it'll be because it's clearly instanced for just you, pretty much, and like your story. So I'm wondering if the things you do in the campaign will build it up in some way, and maybe we'll have like choices about what goes there. There'll be like trophies there, like we did with Beyond Light.
Maybe.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I
it's
I
a
like
little-
it better than just going and walking up to somebody in the tower and getting that like pop up.
Yeah.
Like with the still image of the person. Like it's more immersive to me. And it doesn't bother me that it's in first person as opposed to third person.
Yeah.
The rest of the game's in first person.
I think in part, yeah. Now that I think about it, well, one, it's because there's not other guardians there. It's not a social space, and it's a little like when you go into the your little tent on Europa, right? Yeah, like you're saying, how you can put your trophies down, and so yeah, maybe it'll expand. I know a lot of people were like praying that it's going to turn into there's like a gun range down there, you know, a firing range to test stuff, and
that'd be
so
cool.
it could be it could turn into
lot
something
of
like that.
They
doors,
missed
lot
the
of
tribute
doors.
hall.
Yeah, there are a lot of doors that won't open, aren't there?
That's true. There's a lot of like stairs and hallways leading to doors that don't do anything.
Yeah, I mean,
Mystery
number one,
rooms.
like
Suspicious.
I want to
Yeah, what do
go
you-
into Crow's bedroom in shorter sheets.
Is that
sheets?
sexual?
Yeah.
You don't
Wow.
know what that means?
short
I don't-
sheets.
It's when you
Oh,
you
yeah,
fold
yeah.
the sheet over like halfway and then fold it back up so that when you try and get into bed, it's like you're trying to jam your feet in. but
Right.
It only goes
It
halfway
looks-
in.
It's like a prank tuck.
It's totally
Oh,
like
amazing.
It's like a prank from
like a
1940 or
sleepover.
something.
Yeah, it's a sleepover camp prank.
Ryder, you're telling me you have like actual malice for this guy and you want to just prank him with the
He's
bed
a
sheets?
bad dude.
No, but
He's
that's,
a- he's a-
but
he's a
that's what you're
bad
gonna
guy.
do? You're not gonna like, set up some
I
sort
mean-
of like, electrical shock thing that's
He's just
gonna kill him or something?
He's gonna drive him crazy.
Like,
Yeah.
they won't let me pull out my gun.
Oh, did anyone see the thing? So like, you know how you can like glitch into the characters in the helm, where if you like walk through them, like you can like pretty much, because they're not physical objects, you can kind of just ghost your way through them.
Clip.
Yeah.
If you do that with Crow and you clip through, if you look at his gun, his bullets all say crow caw written on each bullet.
Wow.
Really?
each
What a
individual one.
nerd!
He's got a lot of time on his hands.
I have
That
to
dude is a
respect
narcissist.
Bungie
I'm
for
just
that.
saying.
I mean, maybe.
I wonder if they intended for us to see that, though. You know, sometimes the
Intended it for
designers
someone.
get bored and just had that in there.
Yeah.
But I was gonna speaking of all those doors. Yeah, do we know like Crow is downstairs in the helm in this blue sort of back alley kind of feeling place in front of what seems to be a huge door. So we're assuming, right, that that's going to expand into some other activity, or who knows, right? Does anybody have any theories?
I mean, I would love a firing range. I don't know what else. Like, I'm trying to think of what else they could put there. Like, maybe they will add a cryptarch and stuff. Like, maybe they'll just keep adding
Maybe.
useful things. There's stuff. This is
It'll
like a
be our new
Vanguard
tower.
mailbox or something.
It'll be
Oh.
when we have to take off from the tower in the ship, and it will become our new social space because we had to abandon the tower.
Mm.
Guardians
what
of the
it's gonna be.
Galaxy.
Yeah, it is the
Guardians of the Galaxy.
There it is. I was gonna say, yeah, it is the full name is the Hub for Emergency and Logistics Maneuvers.
Ooh,
So-
maneuvers.
Maneuvers.
Yeah, maneuvers.
Okay.
Maneuvers, you
that's
That
said.
does
very
sound like a
Sounds
giant
like flying.
escape pod.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So
Mm.
Gonna be
Sounds like
having
we're
more in
the-
helm.
The USPS of the Destiny world. Got
Yeah,
some
so-
emergency
Logistics.
packages going out.
maybe Eris is just in there or something like that's like
She's just waiting.
yeah.
Surprise.
She's like just in there like cooking up wild like satanic stuff, whatever she does back there.
What do you
Have her own
guys?
little quarters.
What do you guys think of like the prismatic caster being there and umbral decoding and all that stuff being linked
Doesn't
to the
talk
hammer?
anymore.
Yeah, it
That's
doesn't,
half the
right?
point.
Oh god, the garbage can, like the talking garbage can. No,
Because
that,
it's not the
I'm so glad
drifter.
it
Why
doesn't.
didn't they buy the drifter's
You didn't
version?
like the talking drifter version? I thought
Maybe
that
the
was the
drifter
better
wanted
version.
to keep his version. I don't
How
know.
dare you?
I get when I'm looking at the recaster, I guess wrong at which thing to go to first every time.
Me
like,
too.
Yeah.
The one thing is flashing, but you don't want to go to the flashing one first. You want to go to the non-flashing one first, and then focus
Yeah.
it, and then go to the other one.
It's like you
Like,
got
just
to
make
dump
it
your
one thing.
engram
I
in
know
there.
you can make one thing
Exactly.
somehow. Like,
I don't know why it's two things. Like, why isn't
I
it
don't know.
just the one big thing and then it's got two steps to
Two
it? You know,
pages,
two
yeah,
tabs,
I don't know.
whatever.
I
Because
will
it is,
say-
yeah, a bit of a hassle.
I will say that is something that I noticed this season because like I didn't stream it and just seeing where I was supposed to take certain things, I was like, what am I? How the hell? What am I doing with this? I'm like, obviously I figured it out, but there was a few things where I was like, what am I supposed to do with this hammer at this point? I'm not 100%
Yeah.
sure.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I was pretty confused by it too.
Yeah.
Like,
Well,
I
it
felt like
gets
I was
screwed
just
up,
like
yeah.
walking up to shit and pressing buttons till like it did something.
until it works.
Yeah.
It gets screwed up on alternate characters. Like the whole
Oh,
Helm
does it?
thing gets messed up because like you're supposed to like get an umbral to focus, but then on your next two characters they don't give you one, so you have to go farm until you get an umbral to come back
Oh,
to keep
really?
doing the main story. And even then,
Interesting.
the prompt won't be there. You'll just have to like figure out that you have to manually decrypt that one engram, and then it'll kick in.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's a
Yeah.
little
yeah.
They really-
confusing. They missed a
still
few
need to
steps
work
there.
on just
What-
quest stuff. Like they upgraded the quest page, which was good. You can right click on it and find more details. But
Yep, that was
like,
really cool.
Real quick, per that example, you do the first quest, which explains to you that that's like or how you get Cabal Gold, and it explains a couple things about how to get Cabal Gold. If that quest disappears, though, that information is gone. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
And so when it first disappeared, and I hadn't done like Battlegrounds in full, I was like, wait. I know I need gold. I got the hammer. I do the prismatic lens. I was like, where do I get gold? I'm like, I'm pretty sure
I missed that
it was
too.
in strikes and blind. Well, I think I read all like 7 places you can go, but I think it just disappears on you. So
Yeah, I missed that
Just
piece of
gotta
information
really-
too, and I was like, "What? Where do I get this freaking gold?" And then I was like, "Oh, of
I-
course, it's the
We're
stuff
about
that you
to get
do
some
every
prime
season."
cat butt here.
I reran one of the initial Battlegrounds from the director because I thought that would trigger something, and it just didn't do anything. I'm like, oh, well, that was a good use of 20 minutes. But
Yeah,
yeah. So I still need to work on some of that. But I mean, I'm feeling back to what you originally said. Definitely feeling, yeah, some of the quality of life, like upgrades. I sort of knew what to expect, I think. So in a way, it was a little unsurprising, but it was cool to see the helm. So that was a little bit of a surprise. But like outside of that, new activity, you know, and a new way to basically use the caster, I guess, is really what they got going. But it feels to me,
well, more of like a
and-
permanent thing, right? Because this is like we have the helm for basically the rest of the year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So at least
the
the rest
cast
of
is
the year.
permanent, but I think we're going to have to regrind, like unlocking the new types of engrams each
Right.
season.
That would make
Yeah,
Like
sense.
but still
now
the
it's
work-
like, or
the
they'll
work
just
table
add
will
more.
reset.
I don't know.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Well, the
Yeah.
war table, like in theory, right next season would reset and not be on Battlegrounds anymore, or would it? There's your question, right? Or do we go to a new
Battlegrounds
room?
supposed to stay, right?
Well, Battlegrounds are staying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that would stay.
But
I
do
would
you-
assume it'd be a new thing.
But that's my point. Don't you
maybe
think
there,
we get a new
Are we going to get
activity?
more Battlegrounds after the season, or is this going to be like we're going to get Battlegrounds as a seasonal activity and then it's over? Because it seems like it's a pretty fun activity. It seems
I
like
don't
something
think
they
it's
could
not
add
over.
to.
Like it's staying. I just don't think I don't think they're going to add new
I don't
Add
think
Battlegrounds
to
it'll
it.
after
grow.
4.
Yeah.
Try something
think-
different.
I think 4. I think 4 is probably the max.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah,
I saw in chat, and this reminded me of one of the confusing things is they say to equip the hammer, and it's like, what?
Oh, yeah.
This is a very
Your heavy
yeah.
this is a
slot,
very
you're like,
confusing like dialogue to tell
Yes.
a user who's been equipping weapons, and they're like, equip the hammer. You're like,
Yes, I want to equip a hammer. Show me how.
Wait,
I would
Yes,
love
please.
to.
Where is it? I
but
can't find it.
I have no
Is it a
idea how
heavy
to equip
weapon?
this hammer. Yeah, that was
That's
confusing.
my theory.
Yeah.
And end of the season, we're going to get the hammer as an exotic and a new third-person weapon. That's-
Yeah.
That'd be
that's-
nice.
that's my
I would take a
prediction.
hammer like Saladin's hammer from Rise of Iron.
Yeah.
Oh my God,
it's got animations and stuff already. It's
Yeah,
a physical
it does.
object.
I
Just do it.
I had the exact same thought. I didn't know the timing, but I was like, they designed this thing. It's not just an image of an artifact, you know.
Oh, yeah.
and you use it. You also use it at the end of Battlegrounds, and it has functional
do.
animation. So I was like,
And
it
it's
feels like
cool.
we're going down that road, that hammer,
Ian-
which would
Ian-
be a natural evolution. So I'm
Well-
I'm also 90% sure we're getting a hammer.
When,
So-
when Cosmo was talking about 3-peaking, he's like, yeah, this would be complicated with swords and all future potential third-person weapons. And I'm like,
Right. Yeah.
Mm.
Oh,
Future
There you go.
potential
Mhm.
weapons.
yeah.
Nunchucks.
So that's my theory.
yeah.
Yeah. So that would be cool to get a hammer. I'm with you. I think it's all but certain that we get
They
it. I
made
don't
the,
know
they
when.
made the gravity hammer.
Gravity-
They can clearly make
hammer.
hammers.
They're ready.
Yeah.
Yes, and Saladin would be happy.
Yeah. I was gonna say on the UI stuff, I think they've done a great job on a lot of the redesigns.
Yes.
Like it's very
Yeah, they're
clean.
adding that new quest page too, which they talked about in the
Yes.
in the TWAB, which is really cool actually.
Yeah, that's really nice. I like just overall. I like, it's a lot of the same stuff in the season, but it's really nice seeing that new like coat
It's
of
cleaned
paint.
up.
Yeah, it's cleaned up.
Yeah, like to our earlier point, quests are still a bit confusing. Seasoned Destiny players are used to the idea that you track a quest, you finish the step, and in the past, I think now it keeps tracking, but I think in the past it would like disappear and you'd go back in, it'd have a new name,
Yeah.
same color. Somewhere they've been cleaning all that up over the years now, and yeah, you're starting to feel that. And when you right click on a quest now, it's cool because you can page through the steps
Yeah.
and sort of see what you did.
that's
There's a
really
little
nice.
more info, and that's kind of what they're saying in the TWAB is that they want to add more to that, and I really hope they do add more to it. So if you really need the detail of like, wait, what do I need? Where do you get Cabal Gold? Whatever it is, that it's all
Yeah.
in one place. And who knows, maybe a way throughout the season at least, or something to look at old quests, because when they disappear, at least in this one case, I was like, wait, what did it say?
That was my biggest disappointment of the I was all getting into the story, watching the cutscene with Caitlyn with the C, talking to Zavala, and I was all into it. And then we get the hammer, we do the first whatever it's called, and then we go back and it's like, okay, get some Cabal Gold. How do I get Cabal Gold? Go run activities.
Go play the same activities they've been.
It's got like 40 minutes till you get to that point. You're like,
You know what?
just correct playlist.
Yep.
Props. I do want to make sure to give props though on that one. I've been saying stuff like that for a long time. Like, please let me do anything to get whatever that we need to grind for. At least with getting the gold, you can grind pretty much everything except for I think the raid. But once I read the whole list and I saw dungeon is included, blind well, they just tell you. I was like, that's great. We're still doing that hopscotch thing where we play Battlegrounds and then we go somewhere else, and you can't earn it in Battlegrounds. So I get it. But
Kinda
it's
weird.
been a huge step
You kill a
forward,
bunch
I
of
think.
Cabal.
It's a little rough right now because with the low level of upgrades right now, it's like 3 Battlegrounds runs. You got to do like 3 strikes to get 3 chances at Battlegrounds, and you got to do 3 Battlegrounds runs to focus one thing to make it either like a sidearm or an SMG.
Oh,
So
yeah.
it's a lot of work, but like in the future, I think they're adding stuff where it's like, okay, you have a
The
chance to
upgrade.
get a double hammer charge, or like you can expand, how much gold and how many charges you can
Yeah.
have. So like it'll get better, but right now it's like, man, this is a lot of work for one
you-
focused engram.
Yeah, and that's a big new mechanic. You got to upgrade the war table to upgrade some of these things. Like, yeah, you can only hold 42 gold right now, but you'll be able to hold up to like, I don't know if it's like 80 or 90 or but you got to upgrade your war table. To upgrade your war table, you go to your new seasonal challenges, which have some XP for that. Yes, which only have 1 week so far, exactly what I was leading to. And so
I didn't know this. I was wondering
the system, but it's a little confusing at first for sure.
Yeah, this is one of these things.
I thought I was gonna rank up by doing Battlegrounds. I'm like, why isn't my XP going up? I've done like 5 Battlegrounds, and then you're like, oh, I got to do the challenges.
Yeah. This is one of these things that I feel like I would have looked over at chat and got an answer immediately. But playing offline, I'm like, how the hell does this thing work? You know?
Yeah, when they're not there to like backseat you, now you're missing it, right? You're like, okay, I kind of like that backseat. I sort of pick and choose the ones when I need it.
God.
Yeah, it is because it's new. It's not intuitive, and again, like it definitely does not guide you through that.
It's also overly complicated because you have like 3 screens.
It is complicated,
right? You like again, you got the hammer, you got the quest, then you got the page of upgrades on the war table, then you got the engram focusing stuff, and I think another page on the actual focuser to upgrade all that or do some adjustments.
I don't think there's a second page yet, but there probably will be. Maybe there is, but and also some things aren't working right. Like, I'm not the only one. I was able to right click on the first Umbral Engram that they show you, the focused one, and it showed me this season's it was like the retro future shotgun and the SMG and a couple items. And I was like, oh sweet, here's what I can earn. And then because I upgraded to the next step, I can't right click on the Engrams right now. And I don't know if that's intentional or broken. Have you guys tried or noticed this at all?
I don't think I ever tried
to the focused Engrams, like in the recaster, the Umbrals, the focused ones, you could always see what you potentially might get.
Oh, right.
And it was super intuitive. And you, no, I think it's broken because the first one I could right click on it worked as I used to. And then when I upgraded the table, I just wasn't able to right click anymore. But I wasn't sure if that was the hide something.
Do you have to do it like in your inventory maybe instead of in the menu or vice versa?
Well, you can only see. I don't know if you could ever right click. So you'd have to focus the Engram, use your currency, and drop it in your inventory, and then I don't think you could right click on it at that point anyway. It feels like it's busted. Some folks in chat are saying they aren't able to inspect either. So
let me ask you guys a question.
What's in like the world loot? Well, I have no idea what's in that one because they changed the pool to some extent. But
let me ask you guys a quick question because I was thinking about this before when I couldn't start the game. Like the game now is supported on more platforms than ever. Mm-hmm. Like, do you think that, and it feels kind of buggy this time around, and it's felt kind of buggy like the last couple of times around at launch. Do you think that they need to cut down on how many platforms they're supporting so they could focus in on getting the game right on like the platforms that they are supporting? Because it feels like right now they're supporting 5 platforms. Is that right? 6 if you include Stadia. Like, do they need to tone it back a little bit and like really focus in on like getting it right on the platforms they are?
I don't think they can. I don't think we can leave that last gen behind yet. It's too early.
Yeah.
Well, I feel like
you can't even buy a PS5, and you're not gonna be able to for a while.
Right. Yeah, it's the earliest that would be is next fall expansion. Mm-hmm. So they might drop 2 platforms then, but it might not be.
It's millions of potential people, and we also don't know. Like, I don't know. Have we seen disparity between the different platforms? Because I feel like we're seeing the same problems across the platforms. That it may not be the platforms. Right? I'm not. Right, I think it's a really good question, but we're assuming
it's
that
not
it's because
of Xbox.
Right? We don't know that that's the problem. It could literally be that they barely had enough time, like always. That they're
it's just a ton of work.
Yeah, we do know that about Destiny. You know, we've heard it from the team over the years. Like, it's way more than you think it is, and we can see how they're paring down seasons. We remember with Season of Opulence and the Menagerie and the Raid with Crown of Sorrow that came out. Luke, I believe, was one of the folks who definitely said this, but they were like, look, it was too much work for the team. Like, we don't want to go through that again. And now everybody's working from home. And so it could just be those things combined. And I think, thankfully, other than the launch bugs of like it crashing, I haven't seen anything too bad. Have you guys seen anything that's really
strike?
Well, well, I don't think they forgot, but they
Saber just not,
That's a big one. That's true.
A strike
But,
missing, you know.
Let's hope that comes back
it's also
before the
weird.
week's
Like
over.
I don't know why Sepix isn't in the playlist. Like I
Yeah.
get that it's the Nightfall, but like
That's
you would
weird.
think it would still be in the playlist.
Right?
That,
And I'll
that
go
could
to
be
my
they're
no
just holding it
dialogue
off for the
thing too, but-
playlist though. Like it's
guess.
we want to keep it special for week 1 and it'll be in the playlist in week 3 or something.
No, maybe that was the other strike. I was gonna say, wasn't there a thing with like, they were gonna go into the playlist for all free players at later, or was that just
Right.
a new strike?
I think
No,
the
it's
new
just a new
strike comes
strike.
in like a month or something.
Because it was on
Everybody
it was on the
Roadmap.
roadmap. Yeah.
Yeah, it
But
was
I
on the
think that's
roadmap
normal
for, like,
now.
Tuesday.
The new strikes are always free to everybody, right?
Yeah, the whole strike playlist is free.
Yeah. Like they
Nothing's
were
supposed
just.
to be
I know what
excluded.
you're referring to, Watts, too, because
And I mean, they're fixing it, right? Like they've
Yeah.
already said that
Yeah.
they know what the issue is and it's being fixed.
It was
so
just so funny to like
yeah, it is. pretty
no
crazy.
one realized it for like a full day either. Be like, oh, I must have really bad luck. Like Fallen
Yeah.
Sabers never come up in the playlist. That's what I thought. And
By the
then
way-
I asked around and no
Yeah.
one had ever played it.
Yeah, I saw your tweet, and that was the thing. It occurred to me that it
Yeah.
was. I totally forgot it was this week because it didn't stand out.
I assumed
And then-
people were playing it.
Yeah, and then when I looked, I was like, "Huh, February 9th. That was a day ago. I don't know what's going on here." By the way, speaking of bugs, I do have to tell a quick story. I don't know if you guys saw this clip. I
Okay.
put it up on my Twitter, but I was playing Battlegrounds, and everybody's putting up like clips and gifs of them getting smashed by the Cabal, egg, as I call it, the big like dome that they drop down the Cabal from the ships. And I was playing Battlegrounds, and that shield generator, that little like tiny pod that drops down out of the sky,
Mhm.
like
I saw that video.
dude, I jumped off a ledge and like all of a sudden it was like, voop, and I got stuck inside.
I
And I
got
thought
stuck in it too. That happened
thought-
to me as well.
it's amazing.
bad
I
luck.
thought one of the ships dropped on me. You would have expected to die, and I was like, it was the funniest thing. But we'll probably get killed by it in the future because we're calling it out, I guess. But it's kind of fun to get stuck in it.
Can we talk about the mechanic where you have to throw the balls to the generator, but like you can only do it at this exact
Yes.
Yeah.
I
perfect
think it's
angle?
awesome, and I'm serious.
Fair.
Because of all the people that go up and blow themselves up and completely whiff
That
it.
is fun.
It requires a little more tender
It
loving
adds
care.
at least
Raise your
5
hand if you
minutes
blew
to
yourself
every
up the first time you
Battlegrounds.
threw a
Oh,
ball.
absolutely.
Yeah.
I saw someone
Oh
blow
yeah,
themselves
100%.
up.
First time, I'm like, oh yeah, let me just dunk this.
I'm doing it almost on purpose now because it seems like the only way to guarantee it's going to blow up the thing. Because if you're like slightly off at the angle, it won't do anything. So it's.
Yeah, do you,
Does that not happen to you? I feel like every
Oh.
time I run Battlegrounds, like if you throw it at like
I-
a slight diagonal, it just
Yeah,
won't.
I
Do
witness it
anything.
Yeah,
happening all the
I got you.
time. I witness it happening all
Yeah.
the time, but I'm always like careful to line it up and chuck it.
Oh yeah, no, I take like a full 30 seconds now. I'm like
Yeah.
a free throw line or something.
do you think it's because they did feel it was just people are chucking stuff from 1,000 miles away, and it's making it too easy? That it's probably for
Maybe.
that?
I mean,
like I
they're
don't.
kind of guarded. There's like walls around them and stuff. It'd be kind of hard to just lob it across the map,
Yeah.
but
I get the
It's a
impression
little-
it's just
I don't-
temperamental.
a little convoluted.
Yeah, I don't mind it. I agree though. If you're like at a slight, off angle, and that's the problem, but you're like, guys, I threw the ball at the generator things, like that should work fine,
Yeah.
So maybe it just needs to be touched up a little
Yeah,
bit.
if you throw it at an
but
angle,
I-
it's definitely not going to detonate.
Yeah. What do you guys think actually of what Battlegrounds is? Because to me, like, I think Watts nailed it before talking about how long will it last. Like for me, I like the activity and I think it's clean and enjoyable would be some words I'd use for it, but it's definitely not like invigorating in any way. And like, that's not a bad thing, but a few weeks I'm probably,
Yeah. I
played
think
out.
I think it's a bit of a shame that they only launched with 2 locations for that. Like if they would have launched with 4 locations from the get-go for Battlegrounds, and I know there's like story implications that they're going to unfold with that stuff, but like I feel like it would have been less monotonous if you're grinding it if you have 4 possible locations that show up, even though it is technically the same thing. Yeah.
Yeah, there are new, there's the cleansing battlegrounds, which are coming on February 16th. I don't know what those are, if that's just a location or if it changes anything. Do we know if that's just a new location? That's next week.
Cosmodrome and there's Moon.
Yeah,
I
but
don't
they got
know.
on the map cleansing battlegrounds, whatever that is. And then they have the final one was called what? Oh, yeah, there's Oracle Battlegrounds too, which launches in 2 weeks alongside Iron Banner, whatever Oracle Battleground is.
I think it's just a name because like we have like
I think it's just a
Hailstorm,
location.
Hailstorm Battlegrounds and whatever the other one's called.
So we don't think
Well,
it'll be
Maybe
an
they'll
upgrade.
have different bosses, but the other thing is like it's 100% Cabal, and like 4 of
Yeah.
these that are just all like I get it for story reasons. Like it wouldn't really make sense to not have it be, mostly Cabal. Maybe they'll throw in some other enemies, like if like oh no, the Fallen are invading the Battleground too or something. But for now, like just being that much Cabal for every single instance it's a lot of Cabal.
It's a lot of Cabal. Yeah.
It's a whole lot of Cabal. Yeah. I like the activity. I think it's cool. And I like slamming the
I do
chest at
too.
the end with the hammer. I think that's awesome.
Yes.
That's very good.
I like how
But-
chaotic it gets at the end too.
Yeah, that is nice. I think the enemy pacing is like really good for this stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, it feels like a great place to test builds and stuff, which I always really appreciate. It's fast and frantic, and you can really mess around with a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Which reminds me, we haven't even talked about the new exotic bow, by the way.
And there's
Yeah.
a lot of
Oh, yeah.
weapons I want from Battlegrounds. And I kind of like the Battlegrounds. It's just like there's a lot of dudes to just kill. Because there's the new bow. Feels great doing that. Trinity Ghoul, the new rocket launcher, the new grenade launcher. Like a lot of weapons just feel really good to just slay some Cabal. And there's almost every weapon I'm like, ooh, this is actually pretty good. It feels good. It's got interesting new perks. So there's a lot of weapons I want to chase. That's the main thing for me.
Yeah, the new.
What's the new bow called? TQ?
Tiku's Divination.
Divination. I always call it Tiku's Wrath, but it's not that.
That
It's
sounds pretty
Divination.
good too.
Yeah.
Yeah, the new, I
It's
thought the
so
new
fun.
bow was pretty OP for an activity like Battleground. You
think-
hip fire and aim
Yeah.
at stuff.
I think the new bow is
and then you blow
awesome.
them up.
I really
Yeah, I
It
think
is
it's pretty
awesome.
good.
It's mechanically amazing.
yeah. It's like
It's really cool
I-
because I was just gonna say that it's really cool because you can have someone just hip firing the whole time, and then your team can just like shoot them with whatever, and it will make them explode.
Hmm.
So you can kind of just like put the fire bows on everyone and explode everything. It's pretty great.
Yeah, it's super effective.
I also like the mechanic of like how it powers up and then does extra damage on like a perfect shot. Like I really like it. It's good at hip firing. Like it's rewarding in that way, but it's also rewarding by being precise with it. So it's like it's rewarding in both ways. It's fun. It's just
Yeah.
a fun weapon to use.
Yeah, I
And
like,
bows
I
have
like the back and
overload.
forth. I like the back and forth of
For this
going.
season.
What was that?
Yeah. Oh, bows have overload this season.
Oh,
And
right,
so
right, yeah,
the
yeah.
auto aim by itself triggers overload.
Yeah, that's
so it's
really
just like a
nice, yeah.
stun button on like fallen captains. It's fantastic.
Yeah,
for
that's
lots of
Yeah.
that's super nice.
Yeah, that was 2 seasons ago. We had that too.
Yeah.
I love it.
I
But
like
we didn't have the mod
juggle.
that can make bows or make exotics anti-champion.
Right.
That's
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it
new.
didn't work on exotics back then,
Yeah.
did it?
Yeah,
You
yeah.
had to
That
use-
has really that has really opened up the whole champion thing. Honestly,
Oh, yeah,
I think that has
definitely.
made such a difference. I was doing overload Le Monarch, and like one Le Monarch shot can poison an enemy enough for 2 overloads and like a single dose of poison. So like
Oh, that's awesome.
it's just really blown it kind of
Yeah.
wide open, and
It's really
that's
cool.
that's the best change they made to the whole champion
Yeah.
system.
I was gonna say though, with the divination, I think it's I really like the juggle you do between like hip firing and then aiming down sights to trigger the explosions. Because like you can spam hip fires and kill things like scions really easily, get those explosions off, but it does a decent amount of damage when you're constantly triggering those explosions. So hip fire
Yeah.
and ADS, hip fire ADS, hip fire ADS. Like
Yep.
that's a fun juggle to do. I do wish it
Yeah.
was. I wish the hip fire was just slightly stronger, just like a little bit stronger. It did, like
Tickles.
it's just a
I think it's already pretty OP. I think,
It does like no
It's just supposed to be a
damage.
primer.
but that's
I-
the
like,
point.
I
You're
think
not
that's the
supposed to
point,
be
yeah.
able to
It's a
just blow
primer,
them
I
up
know.
with it.
Yeah.
I don't disagree. It would be fun
Anthem
to have,
style
but
primer detonator.
It is. It's a
Yeah.
primer detonator in a bow. It's great.
I don't disagree. It'd be more fun, Teft.
yeah.
But you just want to blow them to high heaven immediately. Huh?
Well, it's just sometimes.
Especially imagine
Yeah.
a Crucible, like a whole team with hard hitting auto aim bows.
Okay, definitely
Well,
no Crucible. I'm not talking about the
PvP
Crucible at
aside.
all. I'm talking purely
Well,
PvE.
see-
I just
Yeah. What do you think's like? What are you feelings missing from it? Is it the power of? Because you said you like to blow up these sticky, whatever they are,
Yeah, I like that a lot.
particles.
yeah.
But I mean, when you hip fire, nothing really happens anyway until you blow it up. So you're saying
No,
once
two
you
hip
blow it up,
fires. Two hip fires will kill a scion.
but you have to. If you do 2 hip fires, they won't blow up until somebody
No,
tags them.
if
They don't
they
blow up,
die,
they'll just die.
yeah, if they're primed and they
Well-
die, they blow up.
That's true.
Oh, if
Yeah,
they
that-
die, yeah.
Yeah,
But
that's
you can
why
do
I was
multiple
saying that you can
stickies.
have someone just running around hip firing stuff, and then the rest of the team's just killing everything, and it's just explosions everywhere
Yeah.
because everyone has been primed.
Yeah. But if you get a critical hit with or precision hit with the divination upon a prime target, then it does extra damage because it does like a critical
Yes.
explosion, or you know what I mean? Yeah.
It does. That's fun I just think it's fun to use. I'm glad they nailed that. I like bows though. I know some people don't like bows, and I think I can see if you don't like it. I heard a little feedback. I was like, I was surprised when I heard that at all, because I'm like, it is so fun to use. But I love using bows and swords and rockets and SMGs, and so I'm glad that we're kind of, like I said, last summer
season for you.
last summer, Whispering Slab, the Season of Arrivals bow, I just used a ton, and everybody be watching me. They're like, why aren't you using Mountaintop and Recluse? And I was like, oh God, please don't make me.
So I don't want to use the same weapon in a game with 2,000 weapons forever.
If you enjoy it, that's cool. But man, I love the feeling of bows, and they're such a great utility because you generally don't run out of ammo. So anyway, I'm super happy with the new exotic. Well, we have been now. Yeah, I think they've done some good adjustments.
I'm actually perched up on the hill and just being like, prime detonate, prime detonate, prime. Oh, I'm out of ammo. Okay.
In Battleground, I've run out of both. Well, granted, it was the same type of ammo, I guess, but it was SMG and bow. I was using, so I completely exhausted it, and it was a good feeling.
Yeah, it is. It's a great feeling to get an exotic bow that's satisfying. I'm really happy with what they did with that. I think they did a good job.
Very good. A cool exotic. I like it.
Mm-hmm.
That's one of the many new weapons. I guess that's the first big exotic. I haven't gotten or know how to get the scout yet. Is it? It's like
you can't yet.
You can't get it.
Coming.
Oh, it's a farm.
It's going to be a quest.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great. So they spoiled that for me. Okay. That's okay. I thought it was actually in the game. I saw it, of course, on Twitter. So
I've seen it. I know what it's called. I don't know what it does yet.
So it's a data leak then? Because we generally don't spoil that.
Is it just in the database?
No.
My bad. I assume it's probably, is it in collections or something maybe?
A photo, there's a press photo of it circulating.
Okay.
I assume maybe that was data mined. It's very official looking.
Okay. Well, I don't know what
we don't know.
We didn't spoil beyond that.
I know some things about the quest, but I won't go into that. But yeah, it's not available yet to say that.
Okay. So this is the only thing we can get right now. That's an
The only
exotic weapon. That's new.
There's 3 new exotic chess pieces.
Mm-hmm.
For
Titan
one for each class.
Oh my God, the Titan one.
The Titan one, I think, is pretty much breaking everything.
Is this the missile Titan thing that's happening?
It's out damages Celestial. It's by a good margin on most targets.
Here we have power creep. All right.
I've always loved Thunder Crash, so I'm so happy about it. But it's probably broken. You're right.
So wait, it turns your Thunder Crash into
it doubles Thunder Crash damage. Straight, at least doubles it. It's a wild damage increase, and it gives you an overshield for 10 seconds afterward.
The Curios of the Falling Star.
Yes, it is. It's pretty nuts.
You gain an
feels
overshield.
like the season of the Titan, man. I tell you, Titans are getting.
Yeah, well,
their aspect is really good too.
So. What was theirs?
I can't remember what it's called, but it's the one where they just are able to create freaking stasis crystals.
Oh yeah, the slide glacier move. Yeah,
they got that blasphemous helmet. Everything's going on over the Titans, man.
Damn, it's because of all
things coming up tight,
ground.
Man.
That's right.
Yeah,
stand your ground.
Zaval was like, Caitlin with a C.
It's like, excuse me.
Hell out of here.
It's with a K.
Excuse me. Yeah, it seems like is the feeling that the armor pieces are pretty well done overall. Just maybe
what do the other ones do? I actually don't know.
I heard the other two aren't very good. The Hunter one is damage resist on invis, and it can
Watt's got the Hunter one.
Yeah, the Hunter one is so you gain a second smoke charge. And then you also have damage resistance while invisible. And then when you make an ally invisible, they also have damage resistance while they're invisible. And you gain melee energy when you make them invisible. So if you're playing it with Bottom Tree Night Stalker, it makes that loop a bit better where you're making people invisible, getting grenade charges. Grenade charges are charging your melee and you're charging your melee more. So it makes that loop that I thought was really cool about Bottom Tree Night Stalker, but people don't really bother that much. But it makes that loop much better. And even you can use it with Top Tree as well. You just won't get the benefit of making other people invisible.
Right.
But you can dodge and go invisible and get damage reduction, and you can have 2 smoke charges.
Is the damage reduction noticeable?
Damage reduction when you're invisible? that often. I feel like
In
that's kind
high level
of
activities, yeah, definitely.
intuitive.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
they're like fire on the ground and stuff. I don't know. I don't know if that's
How
worth
long?
the slot
Yeah,
for me.
it's a good question. Is it only exactly to the frame when you're invisible?
It's only when
Um,
you're invisible.
Hmm.
But you're
It
invisible
happens.
for a while.
It definitely would help with stomp if that counts. So that happens all the time. So maybe it's good for like if you're getting stomped and beat up too much that way. But yeah, it's a good point. I see where you're going with it if they're not like shooting at you anymore. But I'll go invisible all the time. There's still a few frames at the beginning for sure that you're getting beat up. It doesn't drop immediately.
Well,
So-
I thought the damage reduction was only like 10% or something. Maybe that was PvP.
Apparently, it's
but
10%.
That's not.
Yeah, that might be
If it was
PvP.
like 50, then I would see how
Yeah,
it may be
that's a good
worth it
point.
for like PvP or PvE. I mean, but
From what I can
I don't know.
tell, it feels noticeable in PvP. Like if you're in a gunfight and you dodge and go invisible and you get that slight bit of damage resistance, you can then maybe win that gunfight. So
That's saying
I was
it's around
playing with it, and
10%.
it seemed decently significant.
yeah, that it seems more PvP focused the more you talk about it. Like,
You think?
which I think is okay.
No, I would say it's definitely more PvE focused for
The
sure.
resistance, really?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Because like
Yeah.
you will get shot when you're invisible because they can hear you as well as see you. So even though you're invisible, they'll shoot your last known location and they
Yeah.
can also hear you.
Yeah.
Some of them can
and
hear you.
splash
they
damage.
can hear
and
you. I
stomps and
didn't
all
know that. Jeez,
Yeah, they can
Yeah.
hear you.
that explains a lot.
Does
Seems
it?
okay.
I wonder if it stacks with protective light because that would actually be another 10% on top of protective
Yeah,
light.
yeah.
in there. That
Well,
would
this is the
actually-
thing,
doesn't-
right? When you're using bottom tree Night Stalker, you're also giving people more recovery. You're giving people stuff with Heart of the Pack. So it kind of just adds on top of all of the other benefits you're giving people. So I think really
true.
we're only going to be able
Part
to
of a
tell
build.
how useful it is when GMs come out.
Mhm.
Because it might end up being this really cool thing where you can have that loop going more often. You can buff up your allies, give them resistances. Good thing.
That's how I see it. Having more defense while invisible in a GM, way more useful.
Yeah, and the fact
Yeah.
that you can doesn't it so you can make obviously your teammates invisible with the smoke bomb on bottom tree, but doesn't it give them some resistance too, Watts?
It gives them the same resistance. When
Yeah,
they're-
so that could be really interesting if you're like charging through somewhere as a team.
Yeah.
Many a time I've been like, we just need to make it over that hill as a team and not everybody die. And then somebody dies and you got to make it back and get them. So probably
All
good
I
for
know
those
is-
situations.
in GMs, I'm bringing Rat King, and I'm going Night Stalker, and I'm going to be invisible permanently.
Your Rat King fantasy has come true.
That's pretty
Permanent.
cool.
Unfortunately, we're gonna have to skip talking about the Warlock.
Nobody cares
So,
anyway.
yeah.
You
I
guys
don't know
want to
what
talk
it
about
does.
the?
I don't know what it
20%?
does either. If Paul doesn't know what it does, we're
I
screwed.
didn't
We
look
have
it
no
up
idea.
yet. I was
We
gonna
have no
get it in
idea.
the last second.
There's
there
no
and
way
be
we're gonna talk
surprised,
about
but-
the mantle of the battle harmony. It's just not happening.
That's a
Moving
bad
on.
name.
Okay, we should. Should I read it?
What is, yeah, just say what it does,
You
and we'll
can
go.
read it.
"Huh."
You can read it. It's fine.
Yeah, yeah.
Kills with warlocks. It's funny because I always have to remind people I had 3 warlocks in Destiny 1, but it's the joke here. Anyway, kills with weapons
Joke.
matching your subclass grant super energy. So weapons that match your subclass grant super energy.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, and full super grants bonus weapon damage. I don't know what the exact stats are, but it's roughly
To Lala?
If those are
full
good
super.
stats, that would be good. I guess we'd have to see how much it is in practice.
Yeah, Talala chest. piece.
Yeah, Talalic chest piece for any gun you're using. This is crazy.
That sounds pretty good.
It sounds
it does
alright,
sound
yeah.
good. Yeah,
That
if
does-
you,
Sounds like it needs a lot of
actually sounds
testing.
really good.
If you're a classic super hoarder in your
Oh, I
fire
am
team,
totally, yeah.
then this might be the exotic for you.
Middle tree arc
If-
This is
warlock.
going to
Army-
encourage people to do that.
This would have been perfect if we had res. Bring back res, and then boom, done. Just constantly holding on to that, getting bonus damage.
Mm-hmm.
My
Yeah, it
favorite-
actually sounds pretty
My
decent.
favorite thing that Warlocks ever did was in Destiny 1 when they had res and they would die and they'd resurrect themselves and they said, making orbs. Yeah, thanks.
I think everyone has done that. It's like, oh well, I'm making orbs over
Here's
here.
some
Orbs
orbs.
on me. Orbs.
Like, where were those orbs 40 minutes ago?
Dude, I was that person. I would hold on to it because you didn't want to be the person that was just like permanently dead.
And
So
Fran
you'd
would
hold on.
definitely say he's making orbs.
No, I actually would say
Guys,
that.
on me, making orbs.
Orbs on me.
Orbs on me again.
Orbs on me. Yeah.
Orbs on me again.
But yeah, I mean,
We talked about this a little bit in the pre-show. I was asking if you guys. I've only played on PC, so I haven't played any on the consoles. But one of the big news stories before the update came out was that they were nerfing mouse and keyboard control, or they were lessening the stability on
recoil.
mouse. Yeah, I'll be honest with you. I don't play a ton of Destiny, but I didn't notice it at all on the mouse.
I think it's fine.
I think it's in a spot where you're naturally adapting to it. 'Cause they just added a little more where before it was like almost non-existent. And me too. I didn't really notice. I think if you probably could use it back to back, you would. But in other words, I think
maybe.
you naturally pull into the recoil. Although PvP players might, notice a bit more. I don't know.
High-end PvP players maybe, but I would say the nerf to mouse and keyboard is far less noticeable than the buff to console, especially for SMGs. Like SMGs on console feel way better now,
That's great.
which is great because we have that awesome new Battlegrounds SMG that I'm only using now.
It's so
Yeah.
good.
It's so good. Yeah.
It feels great. Oh, let's talk. Okay, hold on. Let's
Just talk about do the whole segment about
we're just gonna
the
talk.
SMG.
It's great. The SMG is
The
amazing.
SMG is nice.
What's the name of
Um,
it? I think I got this.
It's called Extraordinary Rendition.
Yeah, I did get it.
Mhm.
I think one of the first ones I got was Surplus and Rampage, which feels great.
Mhm.
But then I got one with Frenzy, and
Yes.
Frenzy
Frenzy.
is the
Frenzy's
one.
great.
So
Yeah.
if you don't know what Frenzy does, it says that being in combat for an extended time increases damage, handling, and reload for this
That's
weapon
it? That's
until
all it
you're
does?
out of combat. So if you're when you're doing, oh my god, it's insane. You do so much damage. You're always in combat in something like Battlegrounds, Gambit, Strikes. Like you're not out of combat that often. So it's
Why do you
Yeah.
need gun perks for when you're not in combat?
exactly
Don't need
It
them.
seems
Right?
pretty-
right.
Yeah. No,
I don't-
Frenzy's amazing.
So it is amazing.
Yeah, I'm really liking it. I'm curious if getting like Outlaw with it, so you'd have like max reload or something maybe.
Outlaw Frenzy, Surplus Frenzy are like
Oh yeah, or
the
surplus.
roles.
Yeah,
I
got
I'm
subsistence.
doing,
which is
moving
great.
target frenzy in PvP is really fun. You just slide in and then you're just like a laser with your
Nice. Yeah.
little thing. But
Yeah, it's
I'm
pretty
looking
nice.
for that ultimate PvE frenzy roll.
I did notice. I've only been playing on PS5, and I did notice that SMG felt pretty good. And I was like, "Huh, is this just the rendition, or obviously they've made some adjustments." The ones I've gotten
Yep.
so far is Overflow, Thresh, and Surplus Thresh, but no Frenzy yet on that.
Thresh is okay. I wish Thresh did a little more. I thought it was bugged at one point. I don't know if it's
Really?
fixed, but I
The
don't really
SMG
notice
just
Thresh
feels
enough.
great in general.
does.
It's just it feels great
It-
to shoot. I just want to use it. It's one of those guns where it's like,
Yeah.
I just want to keep shooting things. It feels
Yeah,
good.
it feels good, right?
It
Yeah.
reminds me a little of was it the auto from Leviathan? What was that called? It had that very steel
Oh yeah.
kind of sound. It's part of it, the sound, the tinfoil is maybe how I always put it. Had that like very tinfoily kind of sound to it. But anyway, something about the feel reminds me.
I
of
think
that,
these are
but
supposed to be
that's
like
SMG.
Leviathan-ish. Yeah, like I think that was the
maybe.
inspiration for them. They're not like reskins, obviously,
Because
but
it's Caitlin's
'cause
weapons, right?
it's Caitlyn, yeah. So
Caitlin with a C.
Caitlin.
You guys just call her
Alan.
Caitlin? Is that
Yeah, Caitlin with a C.
easier?
apparently, yes. So I'm hopping on board because I already
have
forgot
no
her real
idea.
name. So
It's Caitlin.
She breathes. She moves. She spit out your bones.
Another weapon that's
Keitel.
kicking ass and everyone wants is the rocket launcher.
Mm.
Because there's
Which
a new
one?
perk. Well, Code Duello.
okay,
There's a
Code?
new perk called Lasting Impression, which
hilarious.
is amazing. So lasting impression, it makes rockets attach on impact and then it detonates after a delay, and it increases the blast radius and damage after that delay.
No
I
kidding.
want this. I
Yeah,
want
You know
this.
what's really
That's
fun
nice.
to do with it? Shoot the rocket. So I have auto loading and lasting impression. So I shot the rocket at a boss, switch to divinity, get the divinity proc, the detonation procs on the divinity, and then you just
my
keep
God.
doing it over and over
Damn.
again. It's great.
That's cool.
That's cool.
That's
It's great.
crazy. I didn't even think
Yeah,
of that.
the fact that because I don't have one yet, but you can also, I assume, you can shoot them point blank with it and get away,
You
right?
can. Yeah.
Which is awesome for a rocket.
All
I mean,
has, yeah.
It doesn't blow you up on the actual shooting it out, but it will blow you up on the detonation. So
Right.
it's
So if you
but
get
it's
out of there in
nice,
time.
right? To be able to shoot something point blank and not die with a rocket.
That's really cool.
that's why
Where's
you need
where's that one drop, Watts?
That is the Proving Grounds,
Proving
Battlegrounds.
grounds. Okay.
Yeah, so you can target farm that eventually.
Oh yeah, that's right. You'll be able to focus, and if we could see
You
inside
need
these
like
engrams.
you need like 1,200 rocket launcher kills or something, but
Yeah,
you can do it eventually.
That's good.
It's
I'm
also
already
just
actually pretty
funny
deep
to like
into that.
see the rocket like sticking in a boss's head with the little like flame coming out of
It's
it.
like a bow.
It's very funny. Yeah.
The old,
That's awesome.
Mhm.
I
That's
can't
cool.
wait to get that.
They did
Wait, what's
great
the-
with the new perks.
What was the perk called again?
A lasting impression.
Lasting
I just keep calling it
impression.
time payload, but
It's
Time
time
payload,
payload,
yeah.
but
Time
it
payload
does
for
more.
rockets. There's also one that just like crazy boosts velocity. It's like a new rocket perk.
I got that one.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's called Impulse Amplifier, and it's actually really good. Massively increases projectile velocity and increases reload speed. So it actually reloads really fast too.
Can you get both of those on the same? Or are they in the same slot?
That
I
is
wonder.
the same. Oh, I don't know. I don't know if you can get the
Yeah, can you get
Everlasting
both would be
Jetpack.
awesome.
I'll check by
Now
you.
we're talking some boss damage.
Yeah, that sounds
That would be
good.
broken.
Yeah, I got.
It'd be fun to have like a rocket
can.
launcher be good for boss damage again. Because that used to be a ton of fun.
I-
When's the last
seems
time
like
that was like
that's
the
where we're
meta? Was it
moving.
Crota?
You can get.
Oh, no,
both.
it was Ribbon.
Amazing.
You can get them
All right,
both.
well,
People are saying you can get them both on a
Yep.
rocket, which would be
That
nuts.
sounds
Nice.
awesome.
Yeah.
That sounds
The only
awesome.
thing this rocket doesn't do is track. But if the velocity
You don't-
is so fast, it won't matter.
Yeah, you
It's
don't need
okay.
a track if you're
I can
standing
aim.
right in front of
I don't
him.
need tracking.
Yeah.
True.
You just stand right in front of him.
Although
You'll never miss.
Sepix would disagree, as it likes to.
Yeah.
Shoot
Oh,
it
as
from
soon
the
as
ground,
he,
it does,
as soon as he
shoot at
sees
it,
a
yeah.
rocket coming for him, he's like, peace, bye.
Dip
Every
out.
time. He's so good at it.
He's
Disappear.
so good.
Yep.
Yeah, I really like the way rockets are feeling. I was surprised. I mean, I
Yeah.
know they buffed them, but getting this rocket and trying impulse amplifier and all that, I was like, yo,
Yeah, I bet-
rockets are kind of they're back. Rockets are back.
Yeah.
Cool.
I've been running this.
They are
Yeah,
back,
that extraordinary rendition SMG, Tiku's divination,
Yep.
and like a rocket with cluster, all just in Battleground, and it's so much fun. Yeah, just like hip firing, everything's exploding. Then I'm using cluster bombs and
That
everything's
sounds like
exploding.
a good time.
It's really just ammo that you're still. And that feels reasonable. But we don't have the artifact option anymore, right? Where you can just like get your heavy back, right? So. That's one thing where I'm not sure if there's ways to get
Crates. They don't give you that much, but
Yeah, I don't
I know.
Are there crates in
They
the
shaft
last
you.
part of Battleground? I can't
Not-
remember.
not in the
The
boss
last,
part, no.
yeah, the last boss. That's where I want them the most, obviously.
You get your super when you start the boss encounter, but you don't get heavy.
Yeah, but it's just fun is the point. Yeah, I can't wait. I did see
A lot of fun.
with this new sticky perk on the rockets that there are people are finding they're pretty powerful on bosses. So that's exciting. I
In
hope.
Gambit, the Primeval, if you like have 4 people using sticky rocket, like it's probably better than Lament, I think.
Really?
And there's no risk of you being slammed. So
What
if
about
you can
Thunder
coordinate
Crash
it in a
Titan?
well or something, it's pretty
Yeah,
crazy.
Thunder Crash Titan.
Yeah, what about a
4 of
Thunder
those.
Crash Titan?
Oh well, yeah, it's also that too.
You
yeah,
can be
I
in your
tried
own-
running that in Gambit.
You can be your own missile.
I haven't played with my Titan in a long time. I think I'm gonna bring him out of retirement for this.
Yeah.
Getting that chest is worth it, like just for that.
Yeah, I don't
Hey,
know
get
if
him,
you guys still.
get him going before they nerf it.
Yeah. I didn't want to segue off if we're still talking about the different weapons. But I
Well, we got to
guess-
talk about the hand cannon that's coming out of.
Oh,
we
yeah.
before that, we
yeah.
got to talk about the hand cannon and Gambit.
That's what I'm
Let
talking
me
about.
tell
yeah.
you,
Yeah, that-
Gambit is populated once again. The children are singing the praises of the Gambiteers. It is time. There's a
The
hand
choir
cannon
is singing.
called
Crow is singing.
bottom dollar. It is a 120 energy hand cannon. And it can run with freaking everything. I'm going to go through the perks and you're going to be like, okay, so everything. So first column, you have Surplus, Killing Wind, 4th times the charm, Pulse Monitor, Feeding Frenzy, Hip Fire Grip, Substances, Rapid Hit, Quick Draw, Slide Shot, Rangefinder, Outlaw. Second column,
That's it?
Thresh, Wellsprig, Unrelenting, Disruption Break, Multi-Kill Clip, High Impact Reserves, Rampage, Eye of the Storm, Demolitionist, Dragonfly, Explosive Payload, Opening Shot.
Good God.
So I'm just gonna be playing
I can't
Gambit
do
all
the
season,
math.
trying to get
Yeah.
a good roll on this thing.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, how do you
And
have
the
to?
drop rate is abysmal.
plus getting those 2 perks out of 24.
Oh my god!
Like
The
it's gonna
drop
take
rate
years.
is bad.
It's bad. Yeah.
Oh, drop
How
rates
many
Have you-
balls.
all right,
Okay,
raise your hand if
yeah,
you've
thanks.
gotten one yet.
No, remember to put your ghost perk on to get bonus.
Oh,
damage.
yeah.
Apparently that doesn't do
will drop
anything.
you one. No, it does. It did it for strikes
it?
for me. Yeah. I have it.
'Cause
I
I
had it on
heard
for
that it
strikes.
was
That's
like-
the only time I've gotten
bugged?
it for. But
I heard that it was only for like destination weapons and not like playlist specific weapons.
Oh wait,
Sorry,
which
But
Maybe
I mean,
a
I put it on
total.
just
Just
because.
just for luck, then at least.
Yeah. I
wait,
just
isn't
put it
there
on.
one that isn't there a ghost perk that you can increase your infamy earnings? No, there's just
No.
drops. Okay, I thought there was
Yeah,
one that
Just drops,
increased
upgrade
your
modules, enhancement
infamy
things.
XP, but maybe not.
Yeah.
That's just like when the weeks come up. I guess that's when you
Yeah,
really
that's
want to do
triple
it.
infamy.
It's when we get like triple infamy because you'll get more bonus drops, and I assume they come out of those engrams.
Oh, that's a good
I am
question.
a pretty
Yeah.
high level in Gambit. I have not seen a single one.
What it?
Can I get that
So-
Ascended Dredgen title or whatever it is? Gilded
I am. I'm
Dredgen?
close. I nearly have it.
Gilded dredges.
I'm
that
gonna
hard.
Yeah,
rock
now's the-
my gilded
50 wins. That's a
My-
lot.
my gilded gold Dredgen title. I'll be wearing it to show my dedication.
So what's the perfect roll then for this gun?
Freaking whatever. All of them. Yes. Everything.
All of them? No, there's
Why
got to be the two combos that is like this
Yeah.
The
is
hang cannon, it's
the
just
holy grail of this gun.
it's just so good. Like the recoil direction is great. It's 85, so that means it's going like basically straight up. It's
Well, all
pretty
right.
tight,
Surplus?
pretty vertical.
Do you think surplus would be the choice?
I don't
I
think.
mean,
I don't
people
even think it
generally
would
like
be
opening
necessary.
shot on hand cannons, right?
Surplus multi-kill clip.
Or
Like,
does it come with Dragonfly? You said.
Yep.
I love
It does?
I love when shit
I would love
explodes.
that.
Yeah,
I would love
For
same.
that.
PvE,
PvE.
I want a dragonfly roll.
Yeah.
I just
God
wish.
damn it! I'm gonna be a Gambiteer.
Sure.
I'm a
So many-
Gambiteer. I'm a
welcome,
gilded
my
Gambiteer.
friends.
Like,
I've
can we
been
talk about how
waiting.
there's so many energy weapons, though? It's
There's
like
a lot of energy.
an insane amount of energy primaries. It's
Mhm.
it's pretty
Hey, at
nuts
least we're
to
talking
do that.
about all the cool weapons instead of
That-
where are all the weapons?
That's true. No, it's just surprising because like they brought Shadow Price and Paladron back, and those are both energy. Like I don't know. It's just I'm a
Shadow
little
Price is
surprised.
energy.
Mhm.
Oh,
I
no
do have a
kidding.
shadow price. I do. Have
Is
a
it
shadow
good?
Yeah, and the
I-
new
I
SMG
don't like
is
Don't like it,
is
Paul.
kinetic though.
Yeah, I mean, it just like the RPM. It's just not really the right archetype for now.
It's
But
the
I'm sure Paladron will be good.
Yeah.
Where's
I think
Paladron
it's-
dropping? Is that coming from the Crucible
That'll be
or
the
from
next
Strikes?
Nightfall. I think it's one of the Nightfall ones.
and they're on a rotation. So a
Yeah.
lot of people thought that you could just farm and eventually get all of them right
Yeah.
away, but no, it changes every week.
Oh, I
so
thought
it's shadow
so.
price this week. Next week will be something else.
Can you
Is
get
it
I
a
think it's
guaranteed
the way-
drop from your first Nightfall
No.
or
No.
It is
random
not.
drop?
I did 9 to get one. I think that was just on heroic, but yeah.
Interesting.
And then there'll be adept versions in Grandmaster. And I think
Mhm.
Master. Not sure.
Yeah, so it's good we have a lot of weapons to talk about. And it seems like people are fairly happy with the weapons, which is good
Yeah.
The
so
weapons are
far.
good.
And we're only days in. So I wanted
Yeah.
to ask it's
The
perfect-
complaining won't start for at least 6 more days.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Once you're
Well,
past
tomorrow
like
is
the
trial.
7th day.
So
Oh, yeah,
you
you're
might
right.
wanna-
It'll start
And
tomorrow.
on the 8th day. Yeah, that's true. Trials, like somebody will like expose like why one of these perks are terrible for PvP, and then everybody will use it.
and then it will get canceled.
That's right.
Yes.
We,
And then
due to an issue we found with Frenzy in
Yeah.
trial.
please no. No.
Due to stasis in a new, artifact.
Due
or whatever.
to the new chain frickin' we'll talk. We got so much to talk about.
Yeah. Yeah. So I didn't, it's probably a question and a big topic for later, maybe, but the quick answers, maybe. How do you feel we are in the weapon state of, not quite a while, but for a little while, we were feeling a bit of the clone effect, I think. Same weapon, same perks. Pretty sure it's the other gun, but a little bit of a touch on recoil, and it feels the same almost. Now we're moving into, well, it's kind of like those old guns, but these have new perks on them. So to
Yeah.
me, it seems like the strategy is very clearly, all right, we cannot create an infinite amount of weapons, but we can mess around with perks. And so now we're getting exclusive new perks that's going to draw you to new weapons. Even if those weapons, like, I don't know what this hand cannon feels like. It probably feels like, I think I saw a clip. I was like, I don't know if it's old fashioned or something, Dire Promise, but does it feel similar? But because of the perk is what makes it feel so valuable. Like, how are you guys feeling about all of that?
Well, I can't
I
speak
know.
to bottom dollar because one has never dropped for me. But,
Same.
What about
just
the
in
concept of
general,
where we're moving?
I know what you're saying, and like I do agree that we kind of went through this era of just endless reskins, but I think they have gone kind of above and beyond with the new perks. The perks are really setting them out, and if they can do 2, 3, 4, 5 new perks a season, which they've pretty much been doing essentially, that's already created some really exciting combos that are worth searching for. And I think this season we got a combination of like the guns looking and feeling cool and new perks, whereas maybe I don't know if outside of DSC, the Beyond Light Season of the Hunt weapons really had that quite as much. I mean, like some people might like, your friction fire or something, but
Yeah.
generally speaking, like these weapons seem to be getting better received than those weapons were. Maybe it's some sort of like intangible design thing, but I also think these new perks specifically are really good. And when they introduce something like the time rocket payload thing, like that's just, it's creative in a way that we haven't seen before. And combined with a rocket buff, that's like really fundamentally changed, the meta for bosses or whatever in a specific way that's unique.
Yeah, it's made like the old weapons coming back be essentially brand new weapons because they're functioning in completely different ways. And this season we have a lot of weapons that have become best in slot. Like the SMG is great. A lot of the rockets are great. The new grenade launcher is really doing good as well. The bottom dollar, really great. Like there's a lot that are very, very, very good. So and that's making me want to play more. Like Gambit, I don't mind Gambit, but normally I don't play it after the first like couple weeks. Honestly, Gambit's actually pretty fun. I just get to shoot a bunch of things.
It's much faster.
It's a
these
lot
days,
better
you know?
nowadays.
It's a lot better now. I still think the
But
Primeval's too weak, but besides that, I think it's very fun.
I'm just sitting in Gambit. I'm just sitting there all day today. It's the only thing I did.
Let's
the
go
only
a bit
thing I did.
overboard, but
Yeah, let's not get ahead of ourselves.
Hey, people have been coming in chat like I've been playing Gambit for 48 hours straight. I've gotten
Damn.
12 bottom
That's
dollars.
because
I'm like,
you're so thirsty for that new weapon. Once you
That's
get
true.
it, you're out
Once
of
you get it,
there.
yeah.
what is the
You're
other
out
Gambit
of
weapon?
there.
Is it it's a fusion? Is that
it's
the
a
other
fusion.
one?
I've had
Okay.
3 fusion rifles.
Okay.
I did get
Oh.
one with quick draw and backup plan,
Yeah.
which
It's
is
like-
pretty
Ooh,
fun.
that sounds good.
Mhm.
It's like
Is the fusion?
yeah,
any
it's like
good?
having
Is that new
I
fusion
don't know
any good?
actually.
No, you don't.
I don't
Have you
know.
used it?
I haven't
I
used it. I never left Gambit. I've just been
Am
there.
I-
I've been running Divinity. I'm
It-
trying to help everyone out.
Am I the only fusion rifle person on this podcast at this point?
No,
No,
I
I like
love
fusion
fusion
rifles.
rifles.
I love
Nice.
fusions,
Wait,
but
Chasm? That's like my thing now. I
Yeah,
love that.
exactly.
but they
Yeah,
haven't felt right to me.
They feel better now, I think.
But it's funny. I remember actually I talked about this last time I was on the show. So I haven't used the new fusion, but I'm really hoping to get back into a fusion grind. Do they drop with any sort of? Is there a perk for fusions that there's
Let me
rolled out
take
that
a
makes it feel
look.
cooler?
The Trials one has a unique perk just for the Trials fusion, where it's like
Really?
I think if
Ew.
you slide, it really reduces charge time or something. I think that's
Oh.
what it is. But
There's
it's
some
only on the
fun
Trials
things.
one. Yeah.
There's
What about
I
for
might have to
PvE?
Nice. I mean, just stuff that could get like surplus and things like that. Those were added
Yeah.
to.
I have
Killing
to
Wind
try
and
'em
things
again.
Like that. But this
'Cause I
season, I
love
don't know if there's
fusions.
anything.
Yeah, and part of it is we don't have, and that actually, now that I think about it, will be the make or break once it makes it into the artifact as a right. We haven't even had fusion in
Yeah,
the
that's a
artifact. That'll
good
tell you
point.
right there that
That's weird.
right they're not in where they need to be yet. I don't think, but I'm hearing more things about them, so I got to try them out. But yeah, maybe if we're lucky, we get a fusion next season as like a an overload or something. Or,
Yeah,
Mm.
they've been.
whatever.
I mean, they did sniper this season. They did shotgun last season. So, it's
well,
time.
if you want to know the perks on, it's called Trinary System.
Trinary.
What
Or
is this
Trinary.
one?
Can you tell me what the
This is
artifact
the-
is with charge speed?
So, it is 660 charge time.
Okay.
The recoil is pretty good because it goes right up, which is always good on a fusion rifle. It's got slide shot, ambitious assassin, surplus, hipfire, grave robber, auto loading, killing wind, feeding frenzy, slide shot, under pressure, quick draw, firmly planted. And then it has swashbuckler, one for all, wellspring, multi-kill clip, thresh, unrelenting, tap the trigger, disruption break, demolitionist, kill clip, backup plan, and high impact reserves.
Thresh could be
Get
good
all
on
that?
maybe
There's
if
gonna
it
be
works.
a test later.
It's got everything.
Yeah, the problem
all
is
of
the
these
problem
playlist
is the
weapons have
impact is
what,
lower.
like 24 perks total. It's crazy.
It is crazy.
It's
So-
it's the long term farm.
Yeah, I think for like PvE, it's probably going to be a really solid diffusion if you get the right roll. For PvP, it's definitely not going to replace Glacial Chasm because that charge time.
I love that
You
thing.
know,
It's so good.
the charge time with the impact. That's how you map people. That's how you get people
It's
complaining
even
on
better
Reddit.
now. It got more range. They
Oh
buffed
yeah,
fusion.
900.
That's how you get those spicy PSN messages.
Could you kindly go delete yourself, sir?
But I finally got the Telesto catalyst after like 2 years. So
Nice.
Oh,
use
nice.
that again.
Nice.
And they
Have you-
fixed Merciless too. So even that.
Oh
could be
yeah, they
a
did.
thing.
True.
Yeah, I gotta
Did you guys
maybe I'll break that
hear
out.
about the Trials sword, the perk that can run on it?
No, it's a perk.
It can
What
get
is it,
chain
double your field of view?
reaction.
Quadruple
Chain
peak.
reaction. Chain
Wait.
reaction. Chain reaction.
But it does it. It's not a caster sword, is it?
It
Yes.
is.
It is a caster
Oh,
sword.
it is.
Oh,
a caster
really?
sword.
Chain
Does it trigger
reaction.
on normal slash too?
It doesn't matter. I'll never get it.
It specifically says, so the perk says each final blow with this weapon creates an elemental damage explosion.
So yeah,
So
regular
this
So-
can
sword
happen
perk.
on slash.
It's everything.
But it
Does
is a
it hurt
caster.
you?
It'll actually.
Yeah,
Yes.
it is caster. It's a solar caster.
Ooh. I
Mhm.
really don't want
That sounds so
I guess I'm
fun.
playing
To just run
Trials.
around with a sword and just pew pew.
Yeah.
Does the hand cannon have any unique perks?
Oh,
Because the
take a
other
look
two
at the
do
hand cannon.
apparently. And I guess messenger. There's 4, right?
Yeah, messenger. Oh, so messenger
three.
is coming back.
Messenger's back.
Do you
And
guys
it is
think that these
come-
weapons are going to be good enough to actually get trials populated enough that like
Well, she just sold
So-
me,
people can
so
play?
This is the
find me on
thing.
Stadia, yo.
There's a lot of people that don't know about the 3-win bounty. Like a lot of people don't even know that's a thing.
Yeah.
You can play trials, win not a single game, and get the 3-win reward every single week. So if you want to
Yes.
do that, you can just go in, play like some games, finish the bounty, and eventually you'll have everything from
Well, I
trials.
thought you
that it
do have
has
to
offer.
win a few rounds or something.
Well,
like that.
yeah, I mean, you're getting like one roll
Do
per weapon, so it's not exactly like you can.
You're getting
farm
one
whatever
roll.
you
But
want.
wait, you do have to win something, right?
No, you don't.
No.
Not
You
anymore.
don't?
You
Oh, okay.
can, I mean, it'll
That's good.
take you like 25 minutes of losing, but you can do it without
Same
winning a
as normal
round.
anyway.
It's just not very enjoyable.
25 minutes of stasis.
Not that I speak from experience or anything, but
Yeah.
yeah.
But yeah, if you
That's
want
cool.
trial stuff, like it's obtainable without you having to win
Yeah.
or go
I'm
flawless.
Yeah,
or
just
and
doing
anything
it
like
for the armor. For
And they
sure.
rotate what goes in there on a week-to-week basis, right?
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah. So if you want, usually the good stuff, obviously, is at the lighthouse. But eventually,
They'll
it'll come
rotate it
around.
eventually. Yeah, everything
You'll be
goes
able to
there
get all the
eventually,
armor.
I think.
That's good. That's a
You'll
good.
be able to
It's
get
actually
everything.
a good tip. Like you should remember, jump in there because there's some good weapons, and even if you gotta suffer for 30 to 45 minutes, just do it and get a roll on something. You know, instead of not having those weapons at all, you might get an awesome roll because the rolls are not exclusive to the lighthouse or anything that I remember. You don't,
I don't
get like
think so.
yeah,
And you
can
can
get
get-
adept weapons, but
Right.
That's the
Right.
only difference, I think.
Yeah. And you can try and get that Desperado messenger.
Desperado.
Mhm. Desperado.
If
Good
I
time.
just wish the playlist didn't suck so much.
Yeah, like if it was just a normal, like if you had normal games, like it would
Yeah.
be very fun and enjoyable. But like it's never that. It's
Trials
never normal.
sucks,
games.
man.
I've been
It's
hearing from
crazy.
some of my good trials friends that it's much better though. Like on, and I think Watts, you've been doing this lately. Did you switch to console?
Some of
But
your
it's much better on
good trials
console.
I can't
friends
play
are
on
charging
console.
you $50 for carries.
No, well, I don't pay them. But they,
It's like getting kicked in the nuts and being like, well, you know, they don't kick you in the nuts as hard anymore. So it's like,
so
it's
it's still
better.
on
It's a lot better
console,
than
like,
it was.
it's not- but I heard it's like a lot.
I
better
haven't.
on
I mean, I
console.
haven't tried on console at all. Like, I think maybe it got a little better over time, but it's still very rough. I'd say, generally
Yeah.
speaking,
Yeah.
I wish
say the least.
I wish
I
the
might give it a
DDoS
shot.
protection
with a
was
normal
active on
team of
consoles.
players.
Like I want to play it on the PS5, but I also
Me too.
don't want to have to strap my console through another laptop to get a VPN in it and introduce more latency.
Right.
Like I don't want to have to worry about that crap. I don't want to have to worry about a cheater.
Yeah.
I don't want to have to worry about a DDoS, type of person in the matchmaking. Like, yeah, trials, man.
The other problem is like if you're not good and you're not winning, it's like the least rewarding thing you can do. Because like
Right.
outside of the 3-win bounty, you can lose your way to. Like they don't even give you tokens on a loss anymore. So you literally
No.
will end the match with nothing. Like not a thing.
Those
I
are
don't
the
even think
biggest
you can
things
get-
they need to change.
I don't even think you can get like end of match like PvP weapon drops or things like that. Like it's
No.
literally nothing if you lose. So
They kick you while you're down.
it's not very
That's the
motivating.
biggest thing they need to change to make trials healthy because they're adding some cool stuff this season. They're adding a whole new armor set. The weapons are really cool. The flawless mods are pretty cool. The adept mods. But it's so unrewarding if you're not winning after you get that bounty done that people just wasting your time. You can play for 6 hours, get your bounty, and get nothing else. Not a single thing. Which that if they change that and make it to where just being in the playlist can get you something
More.
more, yeah. That's what they need to do.
Yeah.
Well, you get
Twitter
tokens
questions?
though, right?
Not for losing. The only
Oh,
way
yeah, that's
you
right.
get tokens is if you
You have to get
the
some
repeatable
wins.
bounties and you keep doing those and you keep
Yeah,
meeting
no,
whatever
that's
the
right.
requirements are.
You can
But
still do repeatable bounty. That's one. So you can get a little.
that
from them.
requires getting kills, but
Well, you can get a few probably.
so it's not a guarantee.
Baby. Depends on how bad they're cheating, frankly.
Right?
Yeah, so Brian, I know we got to move on soon, but did we actually cover everything in the TWAB?
No, we haven't
There's
covered
like
anything.
30 more weapons.
We've covered maybe like a eighth of the season so far.
Well, the TWAB was just like, we're not doing the Cosmodrome like we said we would, and we kind of forgot to tell you. And
Wait, what were
we're
they
just
doing
going to
with the
make new
Cosmodrome?
content.
What was
So
that?
with the Cosmodrome, they said that they were going to be expanding it to be comparable to D1 Cosmodrome initially.
Oh, gotcha.
And then in the TWAB,
Last
they
year.
said that they're not going to do that because they realized that they got to the point where it was like, we can do that, or we can focus on making new content, new stuff for people. And they decided to go with the making new stuff.
Good
And-
decision.
To be fair to them, they did apologize. They were like, we know we should have let you know earlier. That's completely our fault. But this is the reasoning why we're doing it. So
Okay,
I was okay after reading that. I was like, okay, new stuff.
that's fair. Yeah.
Yeah.
They're like, we got to fix the saber strike. It's busted.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's like what was really going to be added by putting
I
the
didn't
extra
really
half of Cosmodrome as a
care
patrol
about
space?
having it. Yeah.
Like, how often did you go to the Cosmodrome last
Yeah, I don't
season?
I
go to
have
that
been.
often anymore.
Like, I did the New Light quest just to do it, but that was really the only time besides the strike. And,
Yeah, and
I think
the
the problem
Hawkeye
was just
quest
like
brought
they
us
could have
there.
told us this like 3 months ago, I guess.
This is
instead of
this is
2
the
days
same.
after the season launched.
This is the same conversation I have every time somebody says they should bring back all the Destiny 1 content to Destiny 2. I'm like, why? We've been there for so long. We've done it so much. Like, what is the point of putting time and effort into that?
They got to be really selective. Like Bolt to Glass, like that makes sense to bring back. Everyone's going to be excited for that. Like that is a good idea. But like the whole Cosmodrome, I don't know. I think that's more debatable. But even something like I wouldn't have predicted that I would have liked the return of Suffix Prime as much as I have. Like that actually felt really good, and it still feels current. Like outside of the story not being updated and having any dialogue, but it feels good to put in the game. But an entire just sprawling patrol space of the Cosmodrome for no reason, like why?
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
I
just
completely
not a good
agree.
use of resources.
Yeah. Hey, I will say on the Suffix Prime thing, just real quick, you know, with the dialogue being almost all but gone, or I guess a few pieces of dialogue in there, but most of the House of Devil stuff has been stripped out of there. It's basically just like doing this mission that you're kind of like, yeah, I'm gonna kill some stuff and then go kill Suffix Prime. And I'm completely fine with strikes being that way. If they can't add, or if they can't devote a bunch of resources for why a strike is getting added to the game, like
Right.
I could care less.
I don't listen to it anyway.
Yeah, I like new
listen to it
strikes.
the first couple of times. And then,
I like new strikes. I like new content like that. So if it's easier for them to just add a like a Battlegrounds ×3, but it's a strike, like I'm happy with that type of content personally. I like seeing that.
It's better than not. Like I wouldn't want to sacrifice it just because it doesn't have a story component. I will say it does feel a little weird, but I would rather have it than not have it and sacrifice that than be missing 2 strikes.
all right, I really want to. We've only got 20 minutes left, so I'm gonna move on to Twitter questions. We're gonna try and get through as many of these as we can, but obviously there's only 20 minutes left. Winker Licardo says, "Has anyone heard Crow hum a Savathun song?"
Yes.
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 He's evil. Paladin X Gamer says, "Who felt like an Avenger when entering the helm for the first time?" Sounds like everybody,
especially when the hologram
covered
popped
that.
up, and
Yeah,
I
the
was
hologram
like,
was dope.
"Yes."
Not alone.
I guess
Side
I'm the
note.
only one that did not think Avengers when I got in there.
I do
Side
now.
note.
I didn't think it at first.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I
Did
feel it every
you
time.
see Mechanize? Friend of the friend
Oh
of the
my
show,
God.
friend of the fam, tweeted at Zavala a meme of what he should say
Oh, that's
to
right.
Caitlyn, and he actually read the entire thing
That was
and
awesome.
tweeted it. It was amazing. If you haven't
Definitely go
seen
watch
it,
it.
please
Then-
go and check out on. I will give you guys a link in Twitch, but please go look it up on Twitter.
Best part, invent new ways to clap ass with the darkness. was like, this is incredible. Oh my god.
Yeah, it
All
was
I have
full
to
on
tell them
Saladin
is,
too. It was
oh,
awesome.
it was.
I wish
absolutely
Saladin would
amazing.
actually talk like that. Stop calling him a narc.
Zavala.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry.
Zavala.
Toasty says,
That's
how do you
amazing.
all feel if Destiny moved to a sub-fee model? I think even a $10 a month for every player could make a huge difference. What difference do you think it would make, Toasty?
Yeah.
Do you think paying them in a different way would make them make content faster? I don't think that has anything to do with
I
it.
proposed this on Twitter, and what I got from these 7,000 replies I got was that there's no way to make this work. Because like
No,
if you
no.
mostly the problem was like people's expectations just then shot like through the roof. Like, oh, they'd have unlimited money, so I want this and this and this and this. And like
Yeah.
and then there's the other group that would just never pay that because they don't even think what they're paying now is worth it. So why would they ever pay a sub? I think this could have worked like at launch, maybe like in the very beginning, but I don't think there's any way you can convert over to something like that now. Also, I mean,
No.
they've got free to play. It's the exact opposite of what they've done. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
it wouldn't work in practice.
Yeah. A real quick clarification. We've mentioned free to play in the game a few times, and there's a lot of people that want to correct us and say it's actually free to try, in which I do agree. It is more. It's not really a free to play game.
It's a combination.
It's
You know?
semantics.
Some of it's free to play.
Free to try is
for
not a
free,
thing. That's not a thing.
Yeah, that's
You get a lot for free.
yeah. I feel like people
but
get
it's
so
Well,
caught
less
up on
than you
those.
used to once they
So
I
semantics.
feel like the
It
same
is.
people saying that to you would also change the way you say GIF or GIF.
You know
these
what?
people-
Definitely.
You know what they are? They're these guys. Well, actually,
Perfect analogy.
No.
How do you
I
say
think,
Ryu? Ryu
I'm
or
gonna be
Ryu?
honest, guys. I think you guys are. I think you're actually wrong. Like factually wrong on this because
Do you want to fight about it, Tafty?
I'm down to throw down right now. You want a Mike Tyson punch out? Let's go.
I already lost once this weekend. My Tyson punch out. I can't take another one.
The reason is because the bulk of like the awesome content is not free to play. You have to pay for that. A free to play game, you can technically play the majority of the content. You just have to wait longer to accrue more of the stuff to be free to play.
So, like, what is a free to play game then? Like, give me an example of a free to play game.
Apex Legends
Okay.
or Genshin.
Yeah,
Genshin's a better
okay.
example.
Yeah.
Yeah, use Genshin.
But
That's
that-
probably a good example.
Genshin Impact is 100% like a
So
prime
what's the
example for this.
cutoff? Like $500? You could play Destiny for $500, and then you're like, oh shit, I gotta pay
So
for
Tom,
this.
Well, you
That's
just
the thing, though.
you'll
Like,
never be
you
able
play
to
PvP and Strike playlist and Gambit forever. Like if you wanted to.
you'll never be able to
just
raid the Beyond Light. You'll never be able to do the Beyond Light content unless you pay for that or wait 2 years down the road. And I mean, I don't think that's free to play at that point because then there's something else
Yeah,
you're going to
and-
want to pay for.
Yeah, but people are getting caught up on the definition. Like to that, I personally like. Who cares if the entire game is free to play? You can play the game for free, which is a fact, and you can't argue against that. Can you or can you not play the game for free? And quite a bit amount of content. Is that
I
true?
cannot argue against that.
Would you agree, Teft? You can play quite a bit. You could get hundreds of hours out of it for free without buying a single thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just the entire game's not free.
Right, for sure.
And I
But-
think people get so caught up on telling somebody else that they
think
want to
so.
use the term it's a free to play game, and I agree. We need a better term, that makes it clear because it isn't a free to play game throughout.
It's an
its
Give the
expand-
Apple,
it's an
Apple's,
extensive
like
demo.
iOS like free with in-app purchases or something like that. Like
Yeah, but my point here
asterisk.
is the people who say it's free to try, like, get out of here. That you're trying to like turn it into something it is not. It's not a free to try game.
makes it sound like a
Destiny
demo.
is a pay to win game. Get it straight.
Guys,
And then they want to call it that too. And
Fran,
it
I
has all
disagree,
those
man. I
things.
disagree. It really is free to try because you're never going to be able to play the Beyond Light content unless you pay money
But
for
there's
the Beyond
tons of
Light
people
content.
who don't want to play that.
Yes,
And
they
that's
do.
what I'm
They want to
arguing
freeze
against.
crap
No,
and they
don't.
want to do the new raid. They want the brand
They
new
don't.
exotics that you get from the campaign. Yeah, they do.
They
Definitely.
beat you down in trials every week, and they don't care
Listen,
to do
if they're
anything
telling
else.
you
Like, I'm
that
not,
they don't want that,
Yeah.
they're trying to fool you because they definitely do want that stuff.
I do know what you mean. It definitely has free to try elements, and it's definitely not entirely free to play. I agree. I just feel like it's a bit in the middle, and we get caught up on this semantical definition because it's definitely not entirely a pay-for experience, right? It's
That's why
not the same
I
as
tend to
that.
say that it is a free to play base game. Like you can hop in, play the base game for free, and then
I-
see what
it got
I
more
like what Paul
complicated
said.
because
It's like
base
the
game
Apple
is-
model of like free to play with in-app purchases. Like that seems the most correct to me.
Wait, what
That's-
is?
Free to play
it's
with
not
in-app
that.
purchases.
That's how
No,
they
it's not that,
label
though.
free games now, though. I mean,
Yeah.
it does have in-app or in-game
It does,
purchases.
yeah.
But that also more accurately describes like stuff like Fortnite, where it's like you have access to all the modes, but you're paying for cosmetics.
Yeah.
I don't know. Free to start to me sounds like it's a timed demo or something.
Yeah, like
where
you
it's
get a half
okay, you
hour
play
for
the
free,
first,
and then you gotta
the
play.
first level, and then you got to pay for the rest of the game. Like Super Mario, one of
Yeah,
the mobile Mario game
the
is
new
that they made.
the new Outriders is free to try, right? You're going to be able to play a few hours of the beta.
And that's literally a
in
demo.
February, and then you have to buy it. That's free to try.
Yeah.
I by the way, I totally agree. The argument is warranted because it's subjective. I think because I personally don't think we have a term that really encapsulates what it is.
Calling
People
the game
want
free
to
to
put
play
it
is
in a
misleading.
bucket.
Calling
agree with
this
you.
game free to play, I think
I don't think it's misleading in the market though. I feel like people get it. I don't know.
Someone's gonna
I
play the
don't know,
game.
but I
They're gonna
think-
be like, "Yo, you just froze the other people on the other team. That was awesome. How do you do that? Oh, you got to have Beyond Light.
Yeah.
Beyond Light. Where do I get
Yep.
that? You got to pay. Be like, oh, this isn't free to play.
Yeah.
Or you can wait
Well,
like a
okay.
year.
If you want to go back to the Genshin Impact analogy, oh, I got Zhao who's tearing up the person. Like, how do I get that? Oh, I got to gamble $360 to get Zhao. Like, it's.
But wait, can you ever- I don't play
or they
Genshin.
do one poll on the banner and get lucky and get Zhao for free.
You're not
I was
going to
gonna
do
say
that for
I would
every
not argue that's a
character,
better-
though.
No, true, but
model.
that's the free to play model though. Is that the possibility you can't suddenly pull Beyond Light out of a free pull? That's non-existent.
That'd be
No.
awesome. You should
Yeah.
do that. Just
And
get it
that-
out of
that
an
is the
engram,
difference.
like an Eververse
I think-
engram gives you Beyond Light.
I think ultimately the issue here is that there is not a term for what Destiny is because it's not a demo.
Probably
You're not
true.
just playing, you don't just have access to one strike, like couple Crucible games, and then it's like, all right, thanks for trying. Now you have to pay. Like you have
Yeah.
a portion of the game that you can play forever for free, but the whole game isn't available to you for free. So it's like a very different thing to what
It's
other
like
The
games
portion that
do.
is available for you is vastly bigger than the portion that's not available to you.
Well, I don't know. These days that might not be true because like
It depends
this
on
was
how
a
much
lot
value
easier
you
of a
place
case
on
to
things.
make when there was the Red War campaign and Warmind and Curse of Osiris. That was like a ton of content. Like that was a full multiple campaigns. Whereas now it's like the new Light Quest, which is it's a better like kind of more logical introduction, but it's a lot less content than there used to be. So it has gotten noticeably worse, I think. And they
How
need
many
to take
strikes
Forsaken
are
out. They need to
how
make
many
Forsaken
strikes
free.
are locked behind paid content? How many Crucible maps are locked behind
No,
paid
that's
content?
true. Yeah,
How many
none of those
Gambit
are.
maps are locked behind paid content? How many like public zones are locked behind paid content?
Right. But
Like-
to Tef's point, it's like you go into those places and you find out you need to have the really good weapon, which is not available for free, and therein lies the problem. And so,
Yeah.
yeah.
Right,
Anyway,
it's
on
pay to
my
win.
end, yeah. No, it is not pay to win. This is what bothers me so much. You can call it whatever you want if you finish your thought, and that's what I mean. When you want to call pay to win, you're gonna throw it in a bucket that's just generalist comment. But just tell me what's really bothering you, and if it's because you can't get the Eyes of Tomorrow, totally agree with you. But if you have no point beyond that, that's what bothers me. People want to throw it in there because they don't like the game or they're done with it. I walked away because it's pay to win. Those
I
are the
like
comments
to
that piss me
incite
off.
This
anger,
is a
so
little
I'm going
bit
to
pay to
call it
win.
whatever I think will anger the most panelists.
I mean, I'm not. I love the topic. It's
I'm
it's because people
furious.
insist on labeling it without getting into the detail, right? And that's what it's really about. Because it is. Let me say this. I think it's amazing how much is free in Destiny.
Yeah.
Like that's the real conversation. You think all of that should
Definitely.
be free? Explain to me why all of that should be free. Then we're going to turn into this model. Yeah, go play some of these other free to play games where you get constantly inundated with like, you should buy this, you should buy this, you should buy this. So you want that
Oh my
model?
god! I was playing fucking Street Fighter V the other day, and that game I paid full price for, and they have ads between the matches. Like while you're loading into matches, they have
Yeah,
advertisements.
yeah.
It's like, what the fuck?
It's
I
free to
paid for
play.
this game.
Oh, you paid for it. That's
Yeah, I
right.
paid for the game.
What is this, Twitch?
It's a
Forgot.
$60
Just doing
game.
it because-
I was like, what the fuck?
But anyway, it's a fun conversation.
Chef Norseman says, if you guys have any of the new playlist weapons, which is your favorite? We talked about this. I'm just going to move on.
Yeah.
Ishka YouTube says, how do you feel the time investment for gear / character optimization is right now? I'm not a huge RPG player, but Destiny feels very maximum input, minimal return, spending expensive materials for a few seconds of recovery. Isn't that satisfying?
Yeah.
Not if you're playing high level stuff. I mean,
I think once you get into the mod, like War Mind Cell builds, Charge with Light builds. That's the stuff that feels impactful for builds to me.
Protective
true.
Light's amazing.
Like just I agree. I don't really like just plus 10 stats, minus 10 stat. Like that to me isn't that exciting, and it's hard to feel some of that be meaningful. But I think the mod system that they've, especially Armor 2.0, that mod system I think has been very good for crafting interesting builds.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
How do you guys feel about the power grind for each? Like we
Oh
get
boy.
Power
like
grind's
do
terrible,
you think there should be a power grind?
It's garbage.
I heard
Season,
take a season off every other season and then spread it out that way instead of doing every season as a power
but
grind.
even then, isn't that just giving you a break from what needs to be adjusted and fixed anyway? You know, like I agree, but
what are the solutions to fix it? Because like I don't know. Like I granted I play a lot. I just don't. I feel like I'm just getting so many power drops all over the place. No matter what I'm doing, it doesn't really even seem like I'm
not power grinding. I'm just
let me ask
getting
this.
power.
How do you feel about the power grind with the expansion releases like Beyond Light? Is it fine then?
Yeah,
I
Or
think
is it a
because you're
seasonal
chasing a raid. That's why.
yeah.
Exactly.
I'm chasing trout.
Big gear.
I'm chasing
big events.
easy lost sector farming.
Yeah.
I feel like there's still stuff to chase. I mean, you know, you're chasing GMs or better GM farming or
But
whatever.
you're going to play that. But you're re-grinding power to redo the same GM or same lost sector, roughly, right? That for me is what the problem is. You're like, wait, I was just doing this. I guess I got to do it again because it's a season.
That's a good point.
If and when we grind an elite level battleground that has amazing drops, it starts to feel better. Trials, maybe if you love it, like you want to be top of the class. In you know, we want to be someone's raid boss, basically.
I like that line of thinking because when a new raid comes out, you're grinding for something you've never done before. But trials
the
or
incentive.
Grandmaster Nightfalls or all the other things, you've already done these before. You were doing them at max level a week ago, but now you've got to grind to do the same things you were just doing.
Yeah.
But is the fix for that just to have those like if you hit 1 point, then it's just the same for the next 3 seasons, and you're like, all right, I'm just gonna hop into a GM day 1. Like
Yeah,
if
I
people
don't
are
know.
complaining about a lack of stuff to do now, I feel like that's only gonna get amplified.
I think they need more stuff to upgrade in different ways, if that makes sense. Like in other words, like I don't mind. To me, it's actually relatively fluid of gaining a little power to get into like the latest battleground, whatever it might be, 1270 or something. And you're like, well, you better make sure to at least, ideally, they're really not that hard right now, but you get the idea. I don't mind it, but what I do mind is a ton of blues dropping and infusing the same stuff. That's what bothers me. So right there, I would focus on that and say, okay, wait a second. This is bothering people who are already at level. How do we fix that? But also, how do we create, you do need to level up. Maybe we need a new thing to level up within that event that increases our power or something that is not related to our power. It's actually a bit, imagine you had an artifact to level up without having to do the power grind. Maybe that was it, right? And it's like, oh, I'm just leveling up my artifact. Cool, fine. Well, it's not in a way that
is what's happening. Is like you have the artifact, you level that up for the perks, you have the season rank, and then you have all this other stuff like the hammer and all that you're upgrading in different perks. And then also you're taking care of this power grind, and the power grind just feels irrelevant because you're just doing the same stuff over and over. And it's like Briar was saying all the time, like I'm doing the same activities over and over, and now I'm leveling up the same gear. Like I'm gonna keep the gear. If it's not if it hasn't been sunset, I'm probably gonna infuse this piece of armor because it has a high stat roll that I've been keeping. So I'm just basically doing the same motions each season for this stuff. I don't like it.
And I think it's what I was getting at, because it's really complicated and I'd have to think about it more, but I don't like the mechanics of doing it. The drop, the infusion, the RNG. In the seasonal moment, it becomes very tedious. Whereas the idea of playing the game to regain a level of power that you can get into a lost sector, I don't mind the idea. But the mechanic, I'm like, oh Lord, I don't need to search for another kinetic drop. I'm just you know what I mean? That's where I start feeling it. So
it's very
I don't know that taking time off solves it, because then how would it even work?
I feel like it needs to change, but I can't think of a good way to change it, to be honest with you.
It's a hard thing to think about.
It really is.
They've been trying to change it for the whole lifespan of the game in some form or another, and it's hard to land in that just perfect point. And I don't know what they're going to try next, but they haven't mentioned that they're changing anything anytime soon.
Yeah, they dangle these pinnacles in front of you. It's like, well, at this point, I just don't care.
I don't like the pinnacle grind. I think it's kind of pointless, just for that extra last 10 power, and it takes like 4 times as long as the previous 50. I've never really been motivated by that, because by the time, unless you're hard grinding it like from the beginning, by the time you get to that point, it's like what, a month, 3 weeks to go to the next season. You're like, all right, what's the point of getting 5 more power?
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, what I was getting at, and I know it's not quite the solution, but like I hate the blue drops and the infusion and the upgrade modules, and the idea, and it's not perfect here, but like imagine to get into the 12, well, I don't know, what's the next level lost sector now? It's like no, it's
1300,
1300, and then it's,
wasn't there a 1270 one?
but let's start with 1300. But to get to
No.
1300, what it wants me to do is a quest that's lost sectors, and I actually have to level up my lost sector power. And then, like, I'd be fine doing that in concept, then not have to deal with all the other stuff. Now, you don't want that to become tedious, but it's related to what I'm doing. I want to do lost sectors.
Sounds like something people would hate.
Maybe, I mean, again,
because we went from this game where we had to do very specific things to get specific things. And then they were like, okay, we're going to open it up. So no matter what you want to do and where you want to play, you can gain power, you can get weapons or whatever. So that's kind of going back. Because like I did the 1300 lost sector and got the new exotic. And I didn't power grind at all. I've just been playing a bunch.
But you did through Gambit. It was fluid.
No, I've only
that's
been,
just
no,
playing.
I did the lost sector before I did any Gambit. I was just playing the game and
Just playing at like 1260.
I've not grinded at all this season. I've just been playing the game. And the thing is like, I wouldn't want to go and level up in lost sectors to do the lost sector, because I would prefer to be doing all the other things, like the new event, right? And grinding bounties in the new event and leveling up my artifact. And
whether it's that exact thing, I guess what I was asking is, would you be fine just say playing the game for time, thus earning XP to sort of get to a point? Or meaning, do you just expect to be able to do the lost sector because you played Beyond Light? Therein lies the problem, you know? Right.
It's a goal for me. Like that's why I like this is to a certain extent. That's why I like the system I have now, is like, I am trying to power up because I really wanted to get those exotic chests. So I did, I didn't do like a crazy min-max power grind, but I played a bunch of diverse activities and like got the drops and stuff. And then I got to like 1290 and started running it. And that was like a goal I set for myself, and I achieved it in the first, 48 hours here. And it wasn't really something I had to just, fall over backwards for. And over the course of a 3-month season, like if you're playing to any meaningful extent, like you will get the drops, like you will get there. And I agree with you that blues are terrible. The infusion process is frustrating. And I spent all my stupid glimmer on upgrade modules, and like that process kind of sucks. And like, I like the idea that's what's thrown around about slot leveling. Like instead of each individual thing, you can just level up each slot once, over the course, rather than doing every single piece of gear. So I think there's room for improvement there. I don't hate the current system, I think, as much as some people do.
I don't hate it. It's but it does need to be changed, and that's all I was getting at. Is like, I feel what I was really thinking about in the back of my mind is like, I don't know. I feel like sometimes I think about the old days, right? Brian, you can relate here. Like, I just want to get to the end of Mega Man and just play Mega Man and get to the end. Like, I don't want to, like, even in this game, I'm like, I just want to get to the next level without thinking about all this.
I think we are experiencing frantic Fran and spreadsheet Fran. Because I'm leveling up with blues. I'm hanging out. I'm not.
Me too. I am too.
I'm just leveling. I'm not even thinking about it. I don't even notice. I don't even know what my highest light is. I'm just like, sure, I'm gonna grab the thing.
We're actually way more on the same page than Watts. Like, because I actually asked T-Rex put this out there too. I think Paul, you might have been in that thread too. We were talking about the grind because he was saying like, God, the power grind needs to go, and I was like, what are you in a hurry over? What are you grinding for? I was sort of baiting the point of like, it's because there's no raid. Like, that's why it's bothersome. But he was like, no, I'm not in a hurry. And that's the truth for me too. I'm not in a hurry. It's fluid, just like you, Watts. I'm playing Battlegrounds, and then right now I'm not seeking power. But I don't like infusing my stuff though. That is bothersome. And that is really for me what I'd love to focus on.
I think aren't you following the golden rule of don't infuse everything all the time?
It just feels weird, though.
But it's annoying. I want to use the new gun.
It's weird to do it too often. It feels weird not to do it often enough. It's just a very uncomfortable system.
Once I get to a level where I can like
7 power higher.
Once I get to a level that I can comfortably do like a lot of things, then I I lock the blues that are the highest, and then right before trials, I'll infuse everything.
Yeah.
But I
That's
only infuse
self-discipline
if
I
I
do
need
not
the
have.
power for the activity. That's the only time that I infuse while I'm still leveling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, at
I
this
think
point, I play and I just write off the system. I'm like, all right, whatever. I need to save the highest blue and delete the rest of them. But I don't find that fun when I'm playing the game.
Yeah.
I find it just like this annoying part of Destiny right now that doesn't really affect the things that I do unless I'm playing a GM or something or a higher level Nightfall.
Well, let's hope. Yeah, let's hope it reworks out there. I mean, I think we can probably all agree that it's not as bad when you got a lot of stuff to do, right, with Beyond Light and the big release. It's a little less like of a thing because it only lasts for, a little while and it feels new in some ways. But also, I really hope that it's just being reworked, for Witch Queen and beyond,
Yeah.
Be a surprise if it is, but I hope so.
Slaystat says, who's hotter, Lady Dimitrescu, I don't know how to say that, or Empress Caitlyn with a C?
Keitel, man. come on.
Definitely Caitlyn. Absolutely.
Got them
Those tusks.
solar
What?
Abilities.
Wait, why are
No,
you
you seen
all
those horns?
simping for Keitel? What's going on here? What am I missing?
Caitlyn, Fran. Say her
Who's
name
Caitlyn?
properly.
I can't.
Yeah.
Idol. I don't know who that is.
I can't do it. What? I don't even get this as a
I don't know.
joke.
I never understood
Lady Dimitrescu
Oh.
is
the vampire person.
something else. Yeah.
It's
It's
too
like
tall. That's-
two
no
or
one need-
something
No one needs
else.
to be that tall. That's too tall.
Got a lot of plot.
Yeah.
Caitlyn has
Huge
tusk.
plots on
Yeah, the
that.
tusks. The tusks on Caitlyn. Come on.
The tusk.
Her tusk game is top tier.
Tusk game.
Suraj Avias Esquire says, can I be the Taco Bell liaison?
Yes.
Qualifications:
Okay.
owning various pieces of their merch, spending
Ooh.
over $50 on one trip, visiting it in multiple countries, and the promise of eating 15 pounds of it after becoming the liaison.
This
course.
sounds like the perfect liaison.
You're
whoa,
hired.
Whoa, whoa. We need to sign we didn't, if this person dies from 15 pounds of Taco Bell, we are not responsible for this.
It's not a coin
Yeah.
flip chance there. So
I don't know
Like
how
people
one
don't know.
spends $50 on Taco Bell in one trip. I have a family of
a lot of
4
bean burritos,
who I
man.
have bought Taco Bell for, and it was like $12, I think.
Yeah, don't eat too much.
Yeah,
Taco
50
Bell.
bucks
We don't want to
Taco
be
Bell?
back for that.
You buying out the whole place?
I mean, 10 tacos cost $10.
Maybe they
50
did.
tacos.
Yeah.
There's your
That's
answer.
a lot of tacos.
Well, and like sometimes in other countries they have different offerings. Like maybe in some places they do that thing, where they put like gold leaf on top. Maybe you get like a gold leaf chalupa.
Probably that. Yep.
You went
You know,
to
like
a
a-
fancy place where there was
Is this
Taco
the
Bell.
Taco Bell from Demolition Man, where it was like the fancy restaurant?
Exactly. Yeah, it's the
Premier
cantina,
gourmet
right?
Mexican restaurant.
It is authentic.
Authentic,
Mexican
yeah.
restaurant. It's won awards as such. Lord Beer says, do any of you collect Funko Pops? Also, Briar, why hasn't Jay Snipe been on? Jay Snipe has been on.
Mhm.
He's on in September, I think.
No.
No, I do not collect Funko Pops.
like
I have
3
one.
Funko Pops. That
It is of
got
the Stranger, and that's it.
I don't have any.
I was looking for the one
I have a
from
couple.
Vault of Glass. What's his name?
Atheon?
Yeah, I couldn't find him.
that's a good one.
I
like
do,
to
I
see
just
this
have
stuff,
a-
man,
like
like,
press kits sometimes.
I have
I
no
have
room for
Osiris.
this.
I think I have the Hulk. One of the assassins from Assassin's Creed. I don't know.
I have that
Not that
sweet
many.
stranger statue. It's behind me somewhere, but
Mm.
that's not a Funko Pop. I'll take the ornate statue, but
I don't think Funko Pops are that good looking. Like as far as like collectibles go, like they don't.
There are no,
there
there
goes
are no
the
Beanie
sponsorship,
Babies.
Briar. Nice job.
There are no Beanie Babies. Like I am solely focused on the Croc sponsorship. I am dead ahead.
Oh no! Still on about that.
We're gonna
Can't
get
see your-
there.
You can't see your Crocs on camera though here. So.
That's true.
No, we
You're
don't
gonna
wanna
have to
they're the
display
worst.
Your
them.
range.
Fix that.
Briar, you're
No,
gonna have
please,
to
no.
play.
Okay.
Okay.
You-
You have to do that every show.
You could use the
Gross.
TV in the background to just play Croc footage.
Oh, just play Crocs ads.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Crocs all day,
Just kind
and then it'll pop up with use code DCP. Mhm.
Veritas Otis 52 says, "What's on your favorite? What's one of your favorite TV shows that hasn't aged well? Also, when are you getting Watts on Anime podcast? She already has a Watts on Anime podcast.
I do
You
it
haven't said
once
the
a
name of
month.
it.
I do it once a month.
When was the last one? Wasn't it this week?
It was. I do it the first Wednesday of every month. So
So it was last week.
It was last week.
Where can people find it?
It's on my channel, twitch.tv/Miss5000 watts, once a month at 6 p.m. Pacific on the first Wednesday.
So if they want to go through and binge all the previous episodes, is it only on Twitch?
I also put it on YouTube, the second YouTube channel. I put that in there and it's on a playlist.
There you go.
So
I watched
it's
Demon
on-
Slayer, so I understand your hair now. So
Nice.
I'm all caught up.
Yay.
My favorite
Yay.
TV show that hasn't aged well is without a doubt The Dukes of Hazzard.
Ooh, yeah.
I have not watched it. I
That's a good
imagine
one.
that did not age well.
Bad.
Can't top that.
Yeah.
Let's just
I
think.
also
I
enjoy the
recently-
movie from like 2005.
I recently was watching some Sex in the City.
Ashley Simpson in it.
No, that hasn't aged well.
There's some
Sex in the
language
City?
that they use that is problematic where you're
Really?
like, wow.
Like what?
Lots of words you wouldn't say these days. Lots of words. Making fun of people.
Like Crocs. You can't say that type of thing
What
these
the
days.
bastard?
Don't say it. Don't talk about them. It's really.
Oh, you know what we could
inappropriate.
do? Oh, I bet Briar's going to get behind this. So when we bake Briar, we can serve like canopies
Barbecue.
in mini Crocs and we can
Mm.
serve pieces of Briar. Oh, it's perfect. That's a great
This is great.
Briar eating party.
Gosh.
This is going to get us the promotion.
The Croc
The sponsorship.
sponsorship.
They're going to be like, we're in. Cannibalism?
We can
Sign us up.
3D print some baby Crocs to serve Briar.
Oh
in.
my god, that just made me.
Steve
think of,
Kuchar says.
that just made me think of Holtz doing the 3D Dorito. Oh,
Speaking
God.
of which, since 3D
No,
Doritos are
God.
back finally, are we getting new Mama Birding stories? Well, we got one for you.
Well,
Jesus, you did
last week we raided Holtzman, and
Was that
he
after this show or after Side Quest?
It was after this show.
It was last week that we got traumatized.
Yeah. And
Oof.
he did it for a very long time
Oh,
of
good
Mama Birding
God.
3D Doritos.
I couldn't look away. It was like the first
He
time I
made-
watched Two Girls, One Cup. I couldn't look away, but I was absolutely disgusted the whole time.
He made hors d'oeuvres for himself.
Ah,
He did.
Made
He
like
he
10
was
of 'em.
He was spitting them in there and then putting them back
Oh,
out, so they were getting cold.
No.
It's
Mhm.
making my stomach turn.
It made me feel a little queasy. Honestly, I didn't expect it, but I felt a little queasy.
I know. I knew.
It
I
was
knew what
nasty.
was going to happen. I knew, like, I heard the story, the
I knew what it
plays.
was.
I was like,
Yeah.
I know what's going to happen, and then just witnessing made me sick to my stomach.
Phoenix
It's
Fire
awful.
says, "What's your
Oh.
favorite thing to make for dinner?" Oh, the best of all the pastas, spaghetti.
oh God, Brian,
The
don't start with
finest
me right
of
now.
all the
Spaghetti.
pastas.
Don't even start with
The
me. on
most
that.
underrated pasta.
He's
I would say.
subtweeting me.
No, Fran's right. Spaghetti sucks. It's too boring.
It's so overrated. I didn't say that.
angel hair.
Thank any nut. Well, talk about the angel hair thing, but
What's wrong with angel hair?
well, it's a
You're
little,
gonna, you're
a
gonna
little
lose me,
weak.
Fran.
Oh,
Okay.
God.
It's there's only very
What's
few
your
things
go-to
you can
pasta?
do with angel hair right.
I guess
What's
Me?
the Italian
li-
pasta for?
Well, the easiest fix for spaghetti is get linguine.
Linguine's
Easy fix. Nice flat noodle, delicious.
Listen,
Outside
would you be
of that, there's so many
disappointed?
good options.
Would you be disappointed if I lumped all noodles together as spaghetti?
Yes, that's like it's not a
What do
it's
you
not a
mean?
brand.
I could not
Spaghetti
tell you
noodle.
the difference between
Italian
linguine and
culture.
Kevin, that would be
spaghetti.
like I'm just gonna call all steak a T-bone from now on. You can't just
Sure.
make
Well, I'm
stuff
not a
up.
savage.
Well, it'd be the same thing. You can't do that.
I feel like, much like a T-bone, if I went to every restaurant and ordered a T-bone, I would never be disappointed. If I went to every place and ordered spaghetti, I would never be disappointed.
There's nothing like spaghetti's
like you
not
might.
bad. Okay, I'm just saying broaden your horizons. You know, there's some bucatini, fettuccine, pappardelle, anything. That's not not anything. The angel hair thing is got to keep it light. That's all I'm saying.
Angel hair is fine.
Paul and I are gonna do a pasta time show.
Yeah,
Pasta time.
Italian
Pasta time.
Dreadnought says, "You die. And the first thing you see are 4 options. Next level, be born as someone else. Restart, be born again on your date of birth. Spectate, watch the world unfold. Or New Game Plus, retain all memories and knowledge and go back to your 10-year-old self.
Oh.
Which do you pick?
Oh, I'm doing that one.
Yeah, New Game Plus.
Oh,
sounds
New
so the
Game
one
Plus.
where you're
New Game Plus for sure.
That one sounds
That's-
like the dream, but I feel like it would drive you clinically insane in practice.
Yeah, it would. Because you'd be constantly trying to change stuff and it wouldn't be going right. Yeah, you're 100% right on that, but I'd want to do it. So wait, the one you're reborn as yourself, you don't remember it? You just redo? Like,
Yeah,
I think
you're-
that's not fun. That's like
Yeah.
really not a...
I
That could
definitely
have
don't want
happened
that
on...
one.
You can't prove that hasn't already happened.
The Earth forever.
Spectate, I don't want
Every day.
either.
No, I like that.
All
one.
I would do is I would give my 10-year-old self the knowledge of the GameStop stocks.
The stonks.
Right?
Yeah.
You
The
decide
GameStop.
when to
Apple.
get
The
out,
game
too.
stocks.
Yeah.
And I'll be a billionaire.
Apple,
Yeah, sure.
Google, you know, like
All of them.
Bitcoin.
Amazon.
Yeah,
like,
it's
come
true.
on.
Like, you drive yourself crazy, but you could retire early as long as you, like, tone it
I could
down. Just
retire
keep it
when I'm
simple.
like 12.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're like,
I got
just
the knowledge.
invest in Amazon when you hear
I go,
about it.
Mom,
Wait,
listen.
I'd be
trust me."
podcasting from the back of my jet ski right now in the middle of the Caribbean.
Then we could Ferrari Fridays would be
Yeah.
realistic.
Oh,
Ferrari
jet
Fridays would
ski-
be an actual thing.
Breyer would have had the jet ski made by Ferrari.
A Ferrari
They get a
jet
special
ski.
Ferrari jet ski, yeah.
Mhm.
Kind of like in One Crazy Summer. Do you guys know the movie?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh yeah.
They
Remember
put
when
the
they
Ferrari
yeah.
engine, or was it a
Yeah.
Ferrari engine or a Corvette engine?
I think it was
You know-
Ferrari. I don't know.
Yeah.
You know what else would be cool is learning languages with a 10-year-old brain that retains
Oh,
all
yeah.
of the previous knowledge. Like you'll learn faster and you're like, well, I'm a grown up inside this 10-year-old brain and I want to learn a language.
I
Interesting.
can't even
Oh,
learn
that'd be great.
languages now, so I,
So you,
I don't know
I
how
don't
that
think
works.
that's going to help me personally.
so
You're gonna be a baby. Babies learn languages
you're
all
going to
the time.
retain your life's knowledge, but still have
Mhm.
the brain synapses of a 10-year-old that hasn't fully
Yes.
networked everything.
Yeah.
The
I remember being
sponginess of a
spectacularly
10-year-old.
bad at French in high school, so I don't think this would apply to me.
Huh.
Okay.
Actually, you know what'd suck? Like, if you stop and think about this, if you suddenly went back and there was no cell phone with like a Siri, no Google and all that, you're like,
Mm.
wait, your phone number? I have to remember
What
your
am I
phone
doing?
number? Oh
I'd be
my
the
God.
smartest person in the world.
You're like just trying to keep your parents off the phone, waiting for somebody to call. Like, what a disaster that was. What
Be
were we
like, I
doing?
can't turn the lights on by just saying, "Hey Siri." God damn.
Oh, you just ruined somebody's.
Alexa, play. You know.
Clue
I
says,
change the temperature in people's house all the time.
Hmm.
Do you?
really?
Yeah, I do.
Which
You can
way?
mess with them?
Hotter or
By
colder?
telling robot lady to turn the heat up.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of people tie that together. That's awesome. Make yourself comfy. They say make yourself comfortable, and I am.
That's
Turn
true.
the heat up.
I get mad at my family when they touch the thermometer or the thermostat. Like, what the fuck are you doing?
Maybe it was me, Breyer. Maybe it was me.
Just doing it cross country.
We have those like learning thermostats. We bought them before they were owned by Google.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, now they're owned by Google. So Google now knows the temperature of my house all the time.
Oof,
course it
with
does.
that power, what are they going
I
to do
know,
with
right?
that
Everything is
information?
Very, very scary power.
How
they have.
many countries are they
But
selling that to?
I've set that thing so every 4 hours it turns down to 55 degrees. So no matter.
55.
Jeez,
God
dude.
damn, my house would
55.
have icicles on the inside if it was
Oh,
55.
what it's
well,
like in
it's
San Francisco.
expensive.
I'd freeze to death.
Where's
As soon as they hit 70, it's freezing in here.
55 is cold, man.
70. 70
Yeah.
is as high as it'll go.
See, welcome to San Francisco. I always thought, I'm like, it's getting cold because it's like 50 degrees out. But that's because what your house is also like 55 degrees because there's no insulation or heat.
The only reason I keep it at 55 is so the pipes don't freeze. Otherwise, it'd be like 45.
Right, yeah. You like it cold, Briar? Jeez, your family must hate you.
Things
I'm
freeze
very
at
cold
45
in
degrees.
general.
He's wearing Crocs. There's a whole lot to unpack here. Whole lot to
Is
unpack.
your house just not efficient?
Eating
Brian?
cold spaghetti.
Yeah.
Talking about.
Is your house just not
I
efficient?
think the people living in the house are not efficient. Put a sweater on. Put a sweatshirt on. Have you
That's
ever
too
seen
cold
socks?
for
Have
it
you
to
ever
work.
heard
Start-
of socks?
Start a fire in the
Maybe you
living
need
room.
warmer.
Come on.
It's
If you
true,
wore
socks.
fleece lined Crocs,
I would
comfortable,
need
stylish.
a fully lined jacket, a beanie, gloves, all of that. I would need.
You
I
only
would
pay
need
for
all
that
of it.
once.
You're gonna have to start bushcrafting in the middle of Briar's living room.
Landy McClanderson says King Louis XIV had a grand getting up ceremony in which he was woken at 8:30 by the first valet of the bedchamber, examined by doctors, washed and dressed, and then ate soup in front of 100 courtiers. If you were Renaissance monarchs, what would your getting up ceremony be like?
What was that?
Got
sound?
inspected by a doctor every
Was he-
day. That seems excessive.
Hey man, it's preventative care.
Start with a
I'm
plate
down with
of
that, but
angel hair for breakfast.
as long as it's not a rectal exam. I mean,
Bring
yeah,
in
maybe a
the
quick checkup.
puppies. I want 100 puppies
100 puppies.
swarming me every morning.
I wake up with a puppy swarming me every day. Anyway,
Pretty good. You know, you're really increasing the odds of getting pooped on every morning, though. When you
True
think about
enough,
that.
but
Yeah.
you're never going to have a bad morning. Just puppies everywhere. Ah!
No, I don't want to. That's pretty good though. Bunch of puppies.
It's like Menudo, though. Once you age out,
Oh God, that's awful. That's actually, I was worried about it. As soon as you said 100 puppies, I was like, what happens when they
awful.
get
What
older? You're gonna grow an attachment.
turn
Are
into
you
a
just gonna
not
get
my
rid of them?
problem.
You're just
If
gonna
you
like.
have enough money to bring puppies every morning, you have enough money to like have a place for them to chill out.
I would
not my
hope.
problem.
This is literally the plot of 101 Dalmatians. But okay.
Oh God.
Anybody else? What would your
I think
morning
you,
routine be?
I'm
there's
gonna
a lot
go
of
with-
options here. It's hard to say.
I'm gonna go with 200 puppies every morning,
Wow.
Thus double
and they're
it.
gonna get homes
100 puppies.
chance.
once they grow up.
Well,
You're
now
gonna
you know why we
bankrupt
eat
the entire
Briar,
government.
everybody.
So,
This is why we
king.
eat Briar. As soon as
I would
those
like-
puppies get old, we're gonna eat Briar.
Yeah,
I would like to be able to pee without leaving bed. Because that's really my main motivation for getting out of bed every morning is I have to pee.
So you just want to stay in bed and have them run a catheter and drop 100 puppies.
Let's
in
not
your
stick anything
bed.
up the dick.
Okay.
How are you gonna get rid
You
of
can
it?
have
Okay.
you can have a pipe that goes
you're
from the
royalty,
bed to
Briar.
the toilet.
I like this idea better. How about
pipe?
a courtier with a bowl?
I feel like you're groggy and you miss. Like, oh, awful.
A very
Yeah.
shallow bowl.
What about a bunch of
Think about the
servants who
splashback.
just
You want that
wear
splashback
absorbent
back on your bed?
dresses? And,
Look, I'm never
Clothing.
sleeping in that bed again. I'm gonna have a
We're not
brand new
peeing
bed
on
bought
the
in.
house.
Do that every
Fran.
night. It's part of
This
the process.
bed's
Not
got
seems-
puppy shit all over it.
easily. I mean, Briar's got a lot of problems here. I mean, might as well embrace it. That's all I'm saying. Just go wild at that point. You'd be a maniacal, like royal leader. I don't even want to think about it.
I'd be a kind and benevolent leader. Now kill those puppies and find 100 more. Weekend 9 says, how much of a raise would you have to get to take a job that you won't make you as happy? Or is there even an amount that you would consider?
No amount.
I don't think. Yeah.
I mean, there's
always a number.
Wait, how long do you have to work for them?
True.
Yeah, because it's just like a year. Yeah,
If I
sure,
get
fine.
paid
Very
$1 billion
non-specific.
a month and I work for a month, I
There you
can
go.
do
That
that.
sounds like a good deal. I
Yeah.
like that. I'm
It's not like a
going with
lifetime contract. Then it's
Yeah, there's
fine.
always a number. I mean, like obviously $1 billion a month is a number that I would accept, but there's even like when I was an actual like job working.
Person.
I have a job
No,
now.
but
I'm a
I was-
photographer. I
Actual
do
job.
photography.
I was, a job person.
But you run your own
Yeah,
business, right?
I was a job guy.
No, I work for a company
work
that
for
does
another company.
photography.
Okay.
Yeah, so and they pay me well enough that I go out and I do it. Sometimes there's been situations where like I've been home creating content and I'm like, should I really leave to go do photography? I'm going to make less money by leaving and going to do photography. But honestly, that job makes me happy because like it gets me out of the house in the sunshine and like I enjoy it. I've had jobs that I've taken, and this was mostly when I was younger. They were promotions. I made more money, but I had to manage people, and I learned very early on that I was not cut out to be a manager. Like I cannot deal with people who subordinates who do not want to work. Like I do not have the mental capacity to manage somebody in that way. Like it breaks my brain. Like I really can't do it. So like I cannot.
That's the sound.
Yeah.
So how much money to have to work
I
on
mean,
those jobs for a long time?
It would have to be enough that in
$1
some
billion.
other way there would be happiness, right? It's like, can I put my kids through college by taking this job? Can I,
Right.
can I retire earlier because
Can
I
I
took
buy
this
my
job?
mom a house? Can
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
Can
like
I
what
support
what
her
is the
forever?
trade-off? Because there's always, I mean, you don't go to a job because it makes you happy. Most people don't. Most people do it because they have to, pay the bills.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's a trade-off. Like, what are you willing to put up with, basically?
Would you take
Yes.
$1 billion
A
to
month.
be the person
Yes.
who has
Oh wait,
to
to what?
be the person that has to take care of the adult puppies from Briar's Kingdom?
Adult puppies known as dogs.
Your job is to murder 100 puppies every morning.
Oh God, what? This is going off the rails.
We'll
mean,
make it
it's $1
efficient.
billion.
We'll use like an Apple press
Thanks
so you
for
can do it
watching.
all
That's
at
what we
once.
think about
Oh.
President the Chosen. Tefty, where can people find you?
Yeah, I'm starving. It's gonna ruin my dinner. Oh man, the puppies, not the puppies.
You
crank
sick
that
bastards.
Apple press down.
How could you take the money? You sick bastards.
Yeah, you're all crazy.
Again, this is why we eat Briar.
Yes.
All right, should we wrap this
exactly.
one up, guys?
Yep.
Yes.
Probably.
It's been fun.
Feel free to ask questions again if we didn't get to your question and you want it to be answered. Feel free to
Yeah.
ask every week until Briar picks you.
There you go. That's
He
how it
will
Do you
know
works.
guys think Destiny is free to play? I forgot. I was going to ask you guys if you thought. Nothing?
How do you guys feel about sunsetting?
I'm gonna write like a 50-page essay on this tomorrow.
One last question.
All right. Well, I guess that is episode 225 of DCP Live. Congratulations. You made it to the end. We did it. Briar's still alive. We didn't cook him yet. One of these days.
Not
It's
yet.
gonna
It's
happen.
getting
He's
closer.
marinating.
Okay, he's marinated. It's
All
the
that
slow
beer.
burn.
Maybe that's why I like it so cold in the house.
As soon as it gets a little warm, feels like you're cooking. Get a little nervous.
Oh, yeah. Shout out to our Patreon members and also our Twitch subs for supporting the podcast at DCP. We appreciate all the support. And Fran, where can people find you?
Catch me on Twitter at Fran Mirabella.
Nice. Paul?
I'm at Paul Tassi on Twitter. You can Google me for my articles, and I am on YouTube now.
Excellent. Briar Watts.
Briar Watts.
Briar Watts.
Briar, I am working on a video where I found the worst Switch controller
Ooh.
on the planet.
How much does it
I've
cost?
ordered like a half a dozen Switch controllers, and this one though is so fucking shitty that I almost want to make just a video about this
You
single.
People
I love
love watching.
This is made out of plastic. It's not even covered with rubber.
Oh.
It is fluorescent orange. All I see is like a fluorescent orange knob.
Yeah, it just looks like it has one button. Okay.
It's terrible.
It looks cool, but it feels terrible.
So wait for that video. It's
All
coming.
right. Nice.
Do it. Do it.
I am Miss 5000 Watts. You can find me in Gambit. I'm in Gambit. I'll be there.
24/7.
You want to look for me? Find me in Gambit. You
Excellent.
want to know what my name is, though? It's currently Tusked Waifu. So if you see it,
How is
name,
it not
amazing.
Caitlin with a C yet?
it was.
Oh, okay.
It's been that.
Touched
I had that.
waifu is pretty great.
Yeah, that's
Tusked
pretty good.
Waifu. That's my name. Apparently, it's good with the exotic RNG. I've got like 7 since the launch.
Ooh.
Oh,
Of-
nice.
I
Okay.
don't know why. I don't
There it
really want
is.
them. I'd
Your
prefer
name
the gun.
relates to RNG and Destiny. Who knew?
That's why I changed it. I was good. I had it something different, and then I was like, well, Tusk's wife who had all the RNG, so I'm gonna go back. So
Yeah.
maybe it'll work.
It's science.
It's not worked. Yeah, it's
No?
a science.
Yeah. Spreadsheet it. We need like a spreadsheet.
Spreadsheet,
Drops
yes.
everything. Frank can give an analysis, and then we'll have a full detailed report on it next episode.
Yes, I will. I will teach everyone how to get the Gambit hand cannon. Next week, hopefully.
Excellent. Okay. Well, I'm Tefty Teft. You can talk to me at Teft, and I will also be in Gambit trying to get a hand cannon, but also because I love Gambit. It's the best thing ever. I'm a bona fide Gambiteer.
Why are we not doing DCP Gambiteers?
I don't know why we
Bona
haven't
fide.
started a Gambit podcast yet.
Anyone
All the
else?
latest strategies.
That is the episode. Thank you very much for watching. We will see you next week. Side quest. I think Firing Range will be back next week, and obviously more DCP 226. So bye everyone. Thanks for hanging.
Thanks, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.